indictment. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
I have never seen a situation like this where a prosecutor didn't actually present to the grand jury the final indictment in this case. And it may very well be grounds for this judge to dismiss the case against Jim Comey.
He's accused of lying to Congress, charges he denies. His attorneys argue the prosecution is vindictive. The legislation forcing the release of the Epstein files is now awaiting the president's signature. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
This will not and cannot be the end of the work. We'll keep the pressure up, pressure for the president to sign, and then pressure on the DOJ to release the full, unredacted files.
Texas Governor Abbott has declared one of the largest Muslim civil rights groups in the U.S. a foreign terrorist organization. Edward Ahmed Mitchell is a deputy director of the Council on American Islamic Relations.
He has been doing this for months, and we have sued him 3 different times successfully to block him from shredding the First Amendment to protect the Israeli government. Now he's fairly mad at us, and he's retaliating with this unconstitutional proclamation.
A new study finds many Americans now pay more for child care than they do for rent. Here's Michael Wallace.
The personal finance site Lending Tree says families with 2 children pay more than $2,200 a month for child care on average. That's more than the average rent for a 2-bedroom unit in 85 U.S. cities. In a new Brigham Young University poll, 7 in 10 Americans said raising children is unaffordable.
Dave Malkoff reports the demand for AI could add a chill this winter.
The explosive growth of data centers could threaten the stability of the electric grid this winter, according to an industry overseer. Across North America, demand for electricity this winter is expected to be 2.5% higher than last year.
Nvidia calmed nerves today about AI spending with a better-than-expected earnings report. Here's Jason Brooks.
Nvidia is helping assuage market worries over an AI bubble after the AI chipmaker blew away earnings expectations in the third quarter, with revenue soaring 62% higher compared to a year ago. CEO Jensen Huang says in the earnings statement that demand for Nvidia's Blackwell chips, the company's most advanced processors, is off the charts.
The company's stock price soared 5%. Stock futures are higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, a second case of infant botulism in Washington linked to baby formula. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, this report brought to you by Global Credit Union. Nothing too crazy out there yet. I'm seeing those usual mid-afternoon backups beginning to form. This is what we're looking at. South 5 into Seattle. It is heavy from the U District to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, a 25-minute drive. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both at 50 minutes. Once you get into Everett, eastbound 526, still crowded from the Boeing plant over to Evergreen Way, and then North 5, you're crowded from the Boeing Freeway up to Highway 2. Everett to Marysville, plan on 10 minutes. Bellevue to Renton's a half hour. It's packed from mid-Bellevue to 112th and Newcastle. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes. And Renton to Puyallup on State Route 167 is a 45-minute commute. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. A Pierce County baby was hospitalized after drinking recalled infant formula tied to botulism. This is one of 31 cases across 15 states and a growing outbreak linked to By Heart baby formula. Food safety attorney Bill Marler represents that Pierce County family. He expects more cases.
I think, unfortunately, those numbers are still going to rise as kids get counted. But hopefully it's not that people are still consuming the product.
Another case was reported in Lewis County just last week. No deaths have been reported. A man who federal prosecutors say is a Seattle street gang leader is set to go on trial next month. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi reports the man is accused of sex trafficking.
Authorities say 34-year-old Lee Anthony Palmer, known as Highway Tone, bragged about his crimes on social media, flashing cash and guns. He was indicted last month on charges of sex trafficking, transportation for purpose of prostitution, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. If convicted on all counts, he could get up to 15 years in prison. He'll be held in custody until his trial. Frank Lenzi, KIRO Newsradio.
King County unanimously passes a 2-year, $20 billion budget. It funds everything from transit and sewage to jails and drug treatments. It also includes a small property tax increase.
County Council increased property tax to 15 cents for every $1,000 of assessed home value. But the big winner, affordable housing, including approval of an amendment by Councilmember Teresa Mosqueda to Trump-proof housing assistance from any federal cuts.
The very funding that we have been able to rely on for decades is at threat.
One of the losers, Council approved just 9 out of the 58 positions the prosecutor's office asked for, but gave more money to behavioral health services and the King County Sexual Assault Resource Center. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Well, no, Mount Rainier is not showing signs of eruption, despite claims in a recent Daily Mail article. Experts telling KIRO 7 TV there were some unusual readings, but they came from a faulty sensor that might not be fixed until spring. The readings on the other sensors are normal. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Looking at a dry day with some high clouds and temperatures in the low 50s across the map. Right now, 51 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line.
Right.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
Why you enjoy the show. Let's get right to it.
You cut a little square in a piece of bread,
Oh, gosh.
and then you toast it in your pan. You drop the egg in the hole, and then it's a nice runny yolk, and you dip that extra little
Why is Aaron
little
calling the
extra
show?
piece of bread in your egg yolk.
This is not a crank phone call line.
Sorry. Egg in a hole.
Yeah, I know.
It's good.
We don't
Why not
use that.
Egyptian?
That line is not for people to be doing crank calls on. We want to find out why people enjoy the show so we can do more of it. So let's just respect the line. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you.
Sorry. No, it's my fault.
No,
It's my fault.
All right, okay. You own it. Here we go. John Curley Show getting started now. Diving into the news. I had to kind of jet out of here early yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to respond to all the people that were inviting me over to their house for Christmas. Is that going to be happening at some point?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. That must mean it's time for break. Hey, YouTubers. Are they allowed to talk to each other yet?
Nope.
Will that ever come back?
I'm told it will, but
See, a couple of people ruined it for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is involved in, exchanging pleasantries and gaiety and recipes and then commenting on my shirt or like how many different watches I own or something.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, a couple of people got in and get all nasty. Not on our show, but some other show.
that's right. Not even our show.
Wasn't our show.
Huh.
Why not open the doors and let the people of our show speak?
Agreed.
Close down the other malcontents.
Agreed.
Agreed.
They can do that.
Open the lines. Release the hounds. Can we do that? Brady, can you do that? No, you don't have the power to do that.
I don't know what power I do or do not have.
Good. All right. Brady, what's time? Here we go. Let's say we're getting news that Governor Ferguson says that it'll be difficult decisions when it comes to the Washington revenue forecast. Apparently, it's a lot lower than they expected.
Oh, no.
Well, let's see if we tax the crap out of everybody. They'll just keep paying more and more taxes. It turns out, no, it's the difference between static and dynamic analysis of taxes. And I've asked the AI generating machine to create a little scenario for us. We'll do that, plus also some history of why this doesn't work. At some point, somebody in Olympia will realize that. That's going to be the I was knowing, thinking about that sort of stuff. Let's see. Also, day in history, 76 Patty Hearst is released on bail. I remember that. I was a functioning, thinking human being in 1976, and I was like, oh yeah, Patty Hearst got out. Didn't care much, but the history behind it and why they took her hostage. Do you know how long it took them to kind of make her one of the team?
No.
Less than 13 days. Within 13 days of being held hostage, she's like, I'm all in on this.
Now, wait a minute. You don't think she was in on it from the beginning?
No.
No?
Joe, I don't want to. No.
Okay.
But she didn't know anything about it. She didn't know what the Sudanese Liberation Army was all about. But they were all about, they were feminists and anti-racist and anti-capitalist.
Bank robbers.
Yeah, they could run for city council here in Seattle and do well. We skipped a whole bunch of other stuff that happened in history. We're focusing on that one. And then apparently, the science behind the California sober. So if you've given up alcohol, now you're considered California sober. There's science behind it. Am I considered California sober?
Yes,
Okay.
actually.
All right, then. Join the crowd, everybody. Oh, what's wrong with my voice? Plus, Marx wanted to do this a long time ago, Karl Marx. He said, listen, the problem is that people are not going to be jumping into this communism stuff until we get rid of the family. We need to break apart the family. Because the family by itself is it's a form of capitalism and oppression. You got the dad in charge, you got the mom underneath.
Patriarchy.
Patriarchy, right? And then the kids have to obey the father. If we could bust that apart, then we can restructure and we can have the state raise the child. And then you won't have all of the power structures in place. Everybody will be happy. So let's have the state feed all the kids. Let's have the state educate all the kids. Let's have the state create distance between the parents and the kids. Well, that's just crazy talk for a communist or somebody in the state of Washington that's been elected by the people. So we've got our guys coming on that's been following all of this. I bless this man for sitting through 2 hours of the Democratic Socialist folks, their big convention where they're talking more and more about the abolition of the family. We got to abolish the family. Got to get rid of the family.
Bad thing.
Starting right here in the state of Washington. Let's see. Commercial developing, we find out news today that, man, can we have some good news? Do we have any good news? Because everything here has been crappy.
Sure.
All right, where?
You're gonna consider some invites for Christmas. That's fun.
Hold on, I'm not finished. I'm looking down the rest of the list here. Katie Wilson unveils powerhouse transition team. Oh, boy. Here's a good one right here. Seattle weather blog predicts a snowy weather. Snowy season for us, snowy winter. That's good. Good news. All right, there we go. That's the good news. That's all we got.
It might not be as good as you think. I did reach out to Cliff Mass to see what
did Cliff Mass say?
I can't tell you yet.
All right, we'll hold off on that. All right, let me get all my notes here. Where are my notes? Hang on. I was thinking. So Como News tells us that apparently Washington State Economic Revenue Forecast that was done projects that the new general fund revenue through 2029 will come in about $66 million lower than estimated. And they said there's a whole bunch of reasons. They have less people registering cars. They're driving less. There's less businesses starting, less building permits. And the numbers just aren't adding up. As the transportation revenue dips, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that people are not doing what they were doing before we started whacking them with all these taxes, which leads to people will respond to external forces on their life. There's a thing known as the Laffer curve. So if you have a static analysis or dynamic analysis, static analysis says, well, somebody will just sit there and stuff will happen to them and they won't change their behavior. So I put into the Googleating machine, show me a guy sitting at work typing. It's more fun when it's in black and white. Typing, and then have stuff happen to him, and he doesn't change behavior. So drip, drip, drip of a few taxes, just a few drips coming on the guy, and then eventually what happens is more and more taxes keep happening. So you can watch right here if you're one of those YouTubers. So there's some guy at work, or that would be you, and the state of Washington decides they want to tax you. So there's a little bit of taxing going on. And Joe, why isn't it moving?
I'm just waiting for you.
There, hit it, please. There he is. There's some taxes, and he just keeps working. He's not changing his behavior at all. Just more taxes, more water. Oh, the ceiling dropped. And an alligator, he's still working. Then a hippo lands on him. Still working. No, they're not going to change my behavior. Just keep taxing. Just keep taxing. Well, Arthur Laffer came up with a thing called the Laffer curve. See if you can do this math real quick, right? So imagine XY axis that if the government taxes, how much revenue does the government get if it taxes at 0%? Zero. It would get how much?
Zero.
Zero, because it's taxing at zero. We get no money. No money if it taxes at zero. How much money would the government get if it taxes at 100%?
Zero.
Zero. Why? Yeah, because you went into work, the government took every single dollar, you probably wouldn't be going back into work the next day. So Arthur Laffer says, so on this scale from 100% to 0%, getting zero revenue in either one of those numbers, at a certain point, people begin to change their behavior. So the government needs to figure out at what point do we keep the taxes right at the place where people will continue to do what they're doing and we will be able to reap as much revenue as possible. So in history, every time they try to do something in order to get more money, like in 1696 in the UK, they said, what we're going to do is we're going to tax windows. So if you have a window, we'll look at a building, and the building's got 20 windows, then we'll assess the tax based on the number of windows. So what do you think people did there, other than not brush their teeth?
Less windows.
They boarded up windows. They got bricks, and they bricked up all the windows. Because they're going to tax the windows, let's just brick up the windows. So what happened? Well, it was increase of disease. There were more rats. There were more mold. And this went on for about 150 years till finally, like, well, maybe we should let people have windows again. Right?
Yeah.
Will that be a good idea?
That's your Liverpool accent?
Yeah, anyway, we don't live with that. So normally the guy's not very smart.
Right.
They don't think he's smart. He figures out the whole thing. Yeah, the same thing happened, and they were then measuring, like in Amsterdam, they would the width of the house. So the doorway of the house would determine what they would be taxing for. So like, okay, so if it's a big window, big door, it's going to be. So what they did is just built smaller and smaller doorways, little teeny tiny doorways. Then you get in there and the house would expand, but they'd come along, the tax man would look at the size of the doorway. So what they do? They built narrow homes to avoid the tax. That's the idea of Laffer curve, right? You're going to have some change in your behavior or how you structure something because you want to avoid the tax. Here's a great example. If they wanted to reduce the deficit, Bush did, by about $500 billion. So they came up with this thing called the luxury tax on yachts. And the idea was, I know what we'll do. People buy yachts and they're rich, so we'll tax these yachts at 10% and we'll get all of this money because they looked at the number. They looked at the number of yachts that were being sold the previous year, and they said, oh, look at that. A 10% tax on this amount of sales of this amount of yachts will give us $500 billion. Brilliant idea. Brilliant. Until people decided, well, I'm not going to buy a yacht in America. I'll go overseas, or I just won't buy a yacht, or I'll buy a used yacht. And here's what happened. 25,000 manufacturing jobs, poof, went away. 75,000 indirect jobs to the manufacturing jobs of yachts, boom, went away. More than 100 companies went out of business because they thought, well, people won't behave differently when we tax the luxury yachts. Of course they did. They stopped buying them. That's the unintended consequences. So here we are in the state of Washington. We're going to tax and tax and tax and tax and tax, and people are going to simply pay the tax, like the video I showed you earlier, the man sitting there when a hippopotamus falls on top of his head. No, they'll drive less. They won't register their cars. They won't start businesses. They won't build buildings. They won't continue to expand the economy because you are taxing them too much. And they're all of a sudden going to say, wow, we need to find more taxes. It's the same thing, just like boarding up windows with bricks to avoid that, or building narrow buildings in order to avoid the taxes, or buying a luxury yacht overseas to avoid a tax. People will do what they need to avoid the tax. The difference between static and dynamic analysis of people's response to taxes. And isn't it shocking that people are now responding to higher taxes by what? Not working, not driving, not starting businesses, not building buildings, not investing in an economy because there's just not as much benefit for them. There. All that? Get it?
Boom.
Yeah. Anytime the government gets involved in this sort of stuff, one of my favorite. Oh, we're going to show it again?
We got to, right?
3 minutes, yeah. There's a guy working. He's not responding to the taxes. The water's the tax. The water represents the tax. Still working. More water. Oh, ceiling drops. An alligator falls on him. And then a hippo lands on him as well. Just another day at work. Just going along. It's like the great story in India. When the government got involved, they got upset because there were too many cobras. So they decided, we need to round up all these cobras. These snakes were all over the place. So they said, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll pay you, I don't know, like $1 or $5 for every cobra. So people so they'd find a cobra, they catch a cobra, and they take it to the government. And the government would give them the money for the cobra. So they thought this would be a great idea. We'll have the people round up the cobras. We'll give them the incentive to be able to capture the wild cobra and then give us the money. So what happened? Well, people started raising cobras. So they'd raise cobras, and then they just take the cobras out of the cage and give it to the government. Then they get $10 for the cobra. And when the government's like, well, we're not going to do this anymore. And then they're like, well, then screw it. And they open up the cages and let all the cobras go. And end up with more cobras. Right? It's unintended consequences of this stuff. So Bob Ferguson, you're right here. There you are, right here. Here's what you can do, Bob. I want to lower the taxes to increase more revenue for everybody. I didn't know what he sounded like.
That's a great idea, Bob.
Yeah. And if we lower taxes, it'll increase economic growth.
Wow. That's like stimulating the economy.
Yeah. Right. There we go. Okay. That's it. That's all.
Put that in your book.
Yeah, put it in your book. All right. Any other questions on any of that?
Well, there's your shot of ever getting him on your show.
Oh, come on,
because I did his voice. Okay, do it again. I want to go on John Curley Show.
Well, that's better.
There we go. Thanks, Nate. Nate, check your traffic anytime.
This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Seattle to Everett's going to take you 50 minutes. Bellevue to Everett also 50 minutes. I-5 is crowded from the U District through Linwood. 405 crowded between 520 and 522 heading into Bothell. Linwood to Seattle is up to a half hour. You're going to jam up at Lake City Way down to I-90. Both of our lake bridges are all clear. Seattle to Federal Way 40 minutes. Got that typical backup forming starting at the Duwamish Curve down to 516. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway getting busy. We're at 50 minutes, and we're pretty solid from Renton all the way into Puyallup. Got a little clearing through Auburn. And speaking of the Valley Freeway, tonight at 11, all lanes on northbound 167 will close through Pacific, beginning right there at Stewart up to Ellingson Road, so crews can prep for that work zone to repair the bridge. And this will reopen 5 a.m. tomorrow morning with only one lane, and you'll be down to one lane through the duration of this construction project, which is scheduled to be completed sometime in early 2026. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
You know what I really like about freeways? They don't have traffic signals. Or do they? Coming to Bothell Woodinville, this is all part of the expansion of the express toll lanes through the Bothell area. Where that's happening and how it's going to mess up your drive, tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's choke points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients. not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
I know what it's like. You watch the hair begin to thin, the crown disappears. That hair loss just robs you of your identity, and that is how I felt before I visited Advanced Hair. You see, Advanced Hair has got this simple one-day treatment, and they regrew my own natural hair. Can they do the exact same thing for you? Yes, they can. And right now, you've got to make a decision. Are you okay with going bald? Maybe you just want to shave your head. Maybe you want to get a collection of hats or a toupee or a comb over. Let's face it, what you really want is your hair back. So here's the best thing you could do. You can set up a free consultation, get $250 off, 250 free hair grafts simply by calling 425-449-8185. And you don't want to wait because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. And by the way, Advanced Hair is once again the 425 Business of the Year. They'll take great care of you there. You want to check out the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com. Right now, set up a consultation at 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
What a good move I made. Let me tell you a quick story. I've done a whole bunch of races and a bunch of other stuff like that, and my left hip started bothering me about 5 years ago. And I go to the doctor, and he's like, you need a hip replacement. I was like, I'm 60. Yeah, we're going to ask you to wait a little while because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to go into the grave at the same time. I said, what do you do about all this pain? Well, you could, aspirin, and you could continue to do this and that and, sleep with a pillow between your legs. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Then I was talking to Bob Stelton over there at the sports department. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, and I think he had his hip done as well. So I go in there. I said, hey, Dr. Wagner, can you fix my hip? Takes a look at the MRI. Yes. So I got the stem cell procedure. I'm telling you something. This is the best. If you've been thinking about, surgery for your knee, your wrist, your shoulder, or hip, no. Check out Dr. Mark Wagner and go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
It's official. Seattle will have a new mayor.
I just spoke with Mayor-elect Katie Wilson to congratulate her on a hard-fought victory.
Stay with KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com for the latest.
I believe in good government, and I believe that there's a lot of work that needs to be done inside City Hall.
From the trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
Seattle has spoken, asking about real change.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Your favorite Seahawks gear? Check. Face paint? Check. The Mike McDonald preview on KIRO News Radio? Check.
We want to win the game.
Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald joins the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, in the final interview before every Seahawks game. Friday mornings, the Mike McDonald Preview, only on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of the guys' spirit.
This is where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. The bill to release Jeffrey Epstein files is now headed to the president's desk after Congress fast-tracked the measure. President Trump says he will sign it into law, at the same time accusing Democrats of trying to deflect.
And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey breaks down how Washington lawmakers voted on that measure.
All 10 representatives in our state and both senators voted yes on the bipartisan bill, then fell right back on party lines. Republican Michael Baumgartner telling the Jason Rantz Show on Seattle Red 770 AM.
They've used it as a tool to try to attack President Trump.
Democrat Susan Delbenny said it should never have come to a vote.
Donald Trump could have released this information at any time.
The bill still allows the Justice Department to withhold files that could compromise investigations or violate personal privacy. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A Washington U.S. senator is questioning whether college sports should keep their tax-exempt status. Senator Maria Cantwell is calling on Congress to analyze the Big Ten's proposed $2.4 billion deal with the private investor. It would spin off media rights into a separate business. Cantwell says the move could blur the line between education and profits. AI chipmaker Nvidia just posted its latest earnings reports. Investors like what they see, as we hear from CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
Nvidia earnings was said to be the most important day of the year for Wall Street, and investors are really happy about this. You look at the third quarter, they beat on revenue, they beat on profit.
The world's most valuable company, Nvidia, reporting $57 billion in third quarter revenue. Let's go now to Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both climbed to 55-minute commutes. I-5 crowded from the U-District through Linwood. Getting pretty thick now between Northgate and Shoreline. And 405 crowded now between 520 and 527 heading through Canyon Park. Linwood to Seattle, you're at a half hour. You're going to jam up closer to 85th now down to I-90. Over in Montlake, southbound Montlake Boulevard, traffic is bumper to bumper from the U-Village all the way down to the Montlake Bridge. Bellevue to Renton is at a half hour. You're jam-packed from northeast 8th now in Bellevue past Cold Creek Parkway. From there, it thins out, but it's crowded all the way down past the VMAC. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, a 50-minute drive. Again, we've got a pretty solid backup already from Renton into Puyallup. Got a little pocket of clearing there through Auburn. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors, staying dry tonight and mostly dry for tomorrow. Right now, 51 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granello, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, here we go with the John Curley Show.
Oh, my.
Very ominous. 1-888-973-5476. 1-888-973-5476. Text line open. Assume we'll be hearing from Paul and some Amish soon. In the meantime, this day in history. Here we go. There we are. Joe, it was 1863 when Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address. 273 words. Remember you read about this?
I do.
And the whole thing about him writing on the back of an envelope, not true. Didn't find a piece of paper on the train. That's not true either. He knew he'd had to give the address. I think he got news that he'd be doing it in August. He'd be invited for the opening of a 17-acre memorial. So he worked on it for about 2-3 weeks. Got it down to 273 words. 1942, Soviet launches the counterattack. All right. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Did you see that? It was a theater. Wait a minute, 1975.
That's when the book or the movie came out.
The movie came out because it opened in the plays in 1965. Did you know when they shot that? It took 11 weeks. They used actual patients.
No.
Yeah, as extras.
Oh, good. Cuckoo.
Patty Hearst is released on bail. And then Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev hold their first summit there in 1985. Let's see. 2003, an arrest warrant is issued for Michael Jackson. What did he do wrong?
You don't remember?
Because he beat it. He just beat it. He just beat it.
There was some unsavory allegations about him and friends, young friends.
Then you watch those specials and those documentaries on him and those families getting paid off.
Oh yeah, that was his Neverland Ranch was just outside of Santa Barbara, so that was big news. The whole trial was at a courthouse. We were covering that closely.
Yeah, the parent takes the money. What a strange thing, right? You know your kid allegedly sexually assaulted, sexually abused by Michael Jackson, and then you quietly just take a whole bunch of money just to make yourself, I don't know, to get something to heal the pain, but
I'm still undecided on that.
Oh, whoa! Stop the music! What do you say you're in favor of there?
Well, I did see the documentaries, and there's two men in particular who allege that they're the ones that came out and in graphic detail spoke about what he did to them. And I don't know. I don't know if I buy it.
Really?
Yeah.
So patterns, people that behave in this way tend to have patterns, right? Just such as one-off. So these two guys are saying that he did this to me, and they basically have the same story that what he did.
Yes, and along the same timeline, I believe, too. But again, there were so many people that knew him and that said, this is just Michael Jackson was a closeted gay man, and that was a big deal for him, growing up and being a young star and a black entertainer, and in that era, it was not.
But sharing the bed with the boys and doing all that stuff.
Yeah, it was weird, no doubt. It was definitely weird.
But he was not doing anything.
That is the other side of it.
Just cuddling.
And they were, yeah, exactly. And he had a really traumatic childhood, and there was all these. He never had a childhood really because he was so famous at such a young age. So he kind of relived that with his very young friends. Nothing about it is not weird.
Yeah.
But he had so much money, and there was so many people coming after him for it that, I don't know.
All right, thank you, Joe, for that.
Yep.
All right, that shows opinion on the history then. You just sucked up some of the time. I'm not going to be able to talk all about Patty Hearst.
Come on, no.
Okay, Patty Hearst, of course, from the famous Hearst publishing family, right?
Right.
And here's what happens with Patty. She gets kidnapped in 1974. The SLA. Simonese Liberation Army. They were big into feminism, anti-racism, and anti-capitalism. There were about 500 members, or about 10 or 15 members of this loose group that were there. And they, the first sort of horrible thing that they did, run by this guy named Donald DeFries. Donald DeFries and the small little group of this little army, they didn't like the fact that Marcus Foster, who was Oakland school superintendent, decided he wanted the kids to have ID photos. Well, the SLA was like, whoa, that's not good. That's fascism. So they killed him. They killed him on November 6, 1973. The police come in and they grab two of these morons and they throw them in prison. So then the SLA are like, hey, let's do this. Let's kidnap Patty Hearst, and then we'll use her as leverage, and then we'll say, hey, we want our morons out of prison, or we're not going to give you back the daughter. So that doesn't work out so well, and then they decide they're going to keep her. So within 13 days, Patty Hearst is going to get brainwashed into joining these people, and then they said, okay, I'll tell you what, set up a food distribution center for all the poor people. Give everybody free food. They did that in February 23rd of the same year. So they set up this distribution center. What happens? People are like, hey, there's free food down there. So they riot and they start punching one another and they overturn the table. So they decide, well, that didn't work out. Free food and riots doesn't work out so well. So they close that down. Then the group with Patty decide to move into hiding. And at this point, she is like completely cuckoo with the rest of them. They run out of money because just running around, shooting people and giving away free food, you can't make any money. So they go in to rob a bank, and Patty Hearst goes in there. When they go to rob the bank, they get about $10,000, and there's Patty holding a semi-automatic, fully automatic weapon. Nobody is hurt, but then Patty also goes ahead because, again, they run out of money. Maybe get a job. They go to rob a sporting goods store, and somebody fires off a weapon. So now it becomes not just shoplifting, but armed robbery. And then finally, when they go in to rob another bank, a bank teller is killed. She's got 5 kids. So now the LAPD decides we're coming down hard on them. It was May 1974. 500 police officers show up. They're going to fire 5,000 rounds.
Members of the Symbionese Liberation Army are dead following the bloodiest and most
Well, that was quick. I thought they had more shooting and stuff, but apparently...
massive gun battle in the history of Los Angeles. Hundreds of police and FBI agents surrounded this small house.
By the way, Patty wasn't there. She was at a hotel miles away watching the whole thing.
Also on East 54th Street in the south central area of the city. Shortly before 6 p.m., gunfire erupted. For more than an hour, thousands of rounds of automatic weapons and small gunfire were exchanged between police and the suspects inside the house. 6 tear gas assaults were made in an attempt to flush out the fugitives, until finally, houses on either side, as well as the pink
The SLA were throwing grenades into the streets.
wood and stucco fortress caught fire. A fire believed to have been started by an exploding gas canister. Some of the bodies were burned beyond recognition and awaited final positive identification following coroner's autopsies. It was an incredible...
I like the guy doing the voiceover.
Yeah.
And the
Almost
gunfire still
unbelievable
going.
ending to the most intense...
It's well edited. Patty later on, this is her tape. Is this one her... Oh, she's talking about the people that got killed?
I want to talk about the way I knew our 6 murdered comrades, because the fascist pig media has, of course, been painting a typically distorted picture of these beautiful sisters and brothers.
Okay.
Our comrades didn't die in vain. The pig lies about the advisability of surrender.
Okay, whatever. She is sentenced to 7 years. She serves 2. Carter commutes the sentence, and then she is absolved of all, and then she goes off to marry, and now she's got a normal life. And you can find her on TikTok applying makeup.
I think Clinton pardoned her.
But Clinton let her, yeah, but it was Carter commuted her,
Right, yes, exactly.
And then he pardoned her.
So you don't think she was in on it from the beginning, huh?
No. Do you? Well, you're full of just all sorts of So you don't believe the 2 guys with Michael Jackson, and now you don't believe Patty Hearst.
I think she was in it from the beginning. They're like, hey, listen, we'll stage a kidnapping. We'll get a bunch of money from your dad. We'll get our comrades out. You just pretend like we kidnapped you, and then eventually she's like, "All right, just own up to the fact."
And then they all ended up at Wonderland Pier, whatever was the name. Where did he?
Neverland Ranch.
Neverland Ranch. Okay, got it. All right, let's go
With
to
Bubbles. Isn't that where Bubbles was?
Yes, it is.
Yes, good. There you are, Nate. Good job. Way to participate.
This report brought to you by Global Credit Union. Seattle to Everett's at 50 minutes. You're slow from Lake City Way through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 55. It's crowded from 520 in through Canyon Park there to 527. Linwood to Seattle has jumped a 40-minute commute. Suddenly, we're getting packed from Northgate all the way down to I-90. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. You're packed at 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia, you're at 45 minutes. And WashDOT just said they're going to start the road work early tonight in Pacific, an hour earlier. So tonight at 10, all northbound lanes of 167 will close between Stewart and Ellingson Roads there in Pacific while crews prep to repair that bridge. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Sometimes I feel like Steve Austin, the Bionic Man. I'm just rebuilding myself. I kept hearing this commercial on KIRO Radio a number of years ago. If you're over the age of 50, you don't want to wear glasses and contacts or readers, and you're concerned about cataracts, go find out more at K2VisionRLE.com. So, being a guy that was over the age of 50, I had a really bad eyes. I kept having a pair of glasses to read at night. Then I had a pair read up close, a little further away on the screen. All these boxes of glasses. And I hated contact lenses. So I go in and see Dr. Kopstein, and I ask him, how many of these have you done? Because that's the first question, because he'd be operating my eyes. He said, I don't know, maybe 75,000. He's lost track. That's good. That's good. So he doesn't know how many because he's done so many. So he's got the experience, and he says, listen, I'm not going to do this unless it's going to have great results for you. If it doesn't have great results, I'll tell you to come back in 10, 15, or 20 years. I'm like, I don't want to wait that long. So he takes a look at my eyes, and he says, yes, this is really going to work for you. Get a little cataract in your right eye. So sure enough, get the procedure done, go back in the next day. I've got 20/20 vision. This is a number of years ago. Still have 20/20 vision. It works. It's great. Want to find out more if you don't want to wear glasses and readers or contacts? K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Then you gotta check out The Reset. Hey, it's G. Scott, and every week, me and my co-host and Seahawks great Brandon Meebane talk Seahawks. We break down the matchups, and we're joined by former Seahawks players.
From Lakewood to Lombardi, Seahawks champion, my main man, Jermaine Kearse.
What up, G?
Watch The Reset live on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind and the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celebrate the Taj Mahal Quintet's 30th anniversary performing at Dimitros Jazz Alley, November 21st through 30th. Don't miss these living icons. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Next up, Smokey Robinson, December 1st and 2nd.
This year, make comfort the first gift during the Black Friday sale at Home Comfort Alliance. Through December 1st, call to get savings up to 75% off furnaces, air conditioners, backup generators, EV chargers, water heaters, and more. If your system's over 12 years old, upgrade now before it breaks and save. And remember to schedule your consultation before December 1st and save up to 75% and take 18 months to pay off 0% financing OAC. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com today. Okay, let's see if old Mr. Contrarian over there agrees or disagrees with this show. Really come back to life since your Monday. Boy, you were flat as a pancake on Monday. You all right now, Joe?
No, I think I'm worse today, but I've gotten better since the show started.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, so the science behind marijuana sober, that's what NPR is calling it anyway. And then here's a little piece from, this is Dr. Drew Pinsky discussing California sober.
Are you really sober if you still smoke weed and do shrooms every weekend? Maybe. A new trend is taking over, and it's called California sober. Oh. Willie Nelson says he's adopted it.
Oh, my God, Willie Nelson. You seen him recently?
He's very old.
He's very old.
A practice that involves abstaining from alcohol and hard drugs, but doing marijuana and psychedelics, including ketamine. So not really sober at all, more like California stoner. Is this something we should embrace, or is it a slippery slope?
Sobriety, look, unfortunately, if you have the disease of addiction and you take anything that tickle the reward mechanisms in the medial forebrain bundle, you will reactivate your disease. I do worry about putting hallucinogens into the mix here because we really don't know the long-term effects of that yet. It will have utility. There's no doubt it has antidepressant properties, but at what risk, in what dose, for what frequency, for what duration, we have no idea.
A lot of new studies coming out saying, this 24 states have now legalized marijuana, but it's not good because the stuff is so powerful, and people will now, according to the one study, if you were drinking and if you were addicted to alcohol and you try to switch over to marijuana, you'll actually smoke marijuana or eat marijuana in edibles, and you'll probably keep drinking. So you're intensifying your addiction. Plus, also a study from Colorado shows that $5 increased spending. I don't know where that's coming from. Spending, I guess, for medical care or whatever else would be. When you put it up against the $1 in revenue that they're making in taxes, that they're actually at a deficit when people are enjoying marijuana. Then it hasn't eliminated the black market. That's the other part of it. And then here's a study from May this year. Whether it's smoking or edibles, marijuana is bad for your heart, apparently leading to heart disease or vascular functional problems with marijuana slowing everything down, or just simply leading to decreased activity and other problems. Okay.
You're kind of California sober right now.
Yeah, I was never a big drinker to begin with. And then now that because I had the stem cell thing, and for 6 weeks you couldn't drink alcohol, but I saw Dr. Wagner today. He goes, well, now your 6 weeks are up. If you want beer or whatever you can have. I said, I don't really miss it. I never was a big drinker.
Yeah.
I enjoyed marijuana. I'm probably 3 times a week, something like that. That's about right. I experienced what I never experienced before the other day till it was called greening out, where you go
eat a little too much.
Too much. I remember my last words to my daughter was there with her boyfriend, and I turned and go, "We live a good life, don't we?" He's like, "What did you say, Mr. Curley?" I was saying we have a good life here, don't we? Have a good life here. And with that, Nick's like, "Okay, I think it's time for you to go." I was like, "Where are we going?"
Time for bed.
Yeah. We have a good life, Zach, don't we? Don't we? Yeah. Sitting around the fire pit.
Dude, a great life.
I know, but it sounded like such an a-hole.
Yeah,
whatever.
I like it. Good life.
Yeah, it's fine. Here's today checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, John, Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett. You're both pushing an hour and 55 minutes. Once you get to Everett, though, North 5 doing all right. Just a minor backup between the Boeing Freeway and 41st. You're close to freeway speeds here, so Everett to Marysville, still a 10-minute trip. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. It's bumper to bumper at 85th down to I-90. Both the lake bridges are continue to look good. Bellevue to Renton, plan on a half hour. It's packed starting at 520 down to Cold Creek Parkway. And then from there, it slowly thins out as you head into Renton. And South 5 through Federal Way, we're crowded at State Route 18 to the Puyallup River Bridge. A very typical backup here. And this backup has westbound 18 slow from Military Road over to I-5. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, so you know the feds have dropped the interest rates. They're probably going to drop again. What's that mean to you? That means if you've been thinking about selling your house, let's do it. Do it now because everybody else is going to put your house in the market. So that means there's more inventory. That means your house is going to be sitting longer. That means the buyer is going to be like, ooh, how long has that house been sitting for? Oh, 100 days? Well, then let's offer less. You don't want to be stuck in that position. What you want to do is make sure you got the best team working for you. When you sell that house, you decide you're moving out, you're downsizing, or you just simply want to get out of the state of Washington, or you just want to be able to move somewhere else, the best guy to get is Mike Novak. And I can tell you why. Because, well, Novak has the track record. He sells more houses than anybody else. Plus, he's willing to put his money where his mouth is. Mike Novak says, I'll tell you what, I'll sell your house in 21 days. If I can't, you don't owe me anything. No commission. And he's going to be out some big bucks because Novak spends about 70 times more than any other agent to make sure that your house gets seen and shown and then sold. So get in touch with Mike Novak. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks.com. N-O-V-A-K. Meetthenovaks.com.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
It's official. Seattle will have a new mayor.
I just spoke with Mayor-elect Katie Wilson to congratulate her on a hard-fought victory.
Stay with KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com for the latest.
I believe in good government, and I believe that there's a lot of work that needs to be done inside City Hall.
From the trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
Seattle has spoken, asking about real change.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news.
A minimum wage increase proposal is moving forward in unincorporated King County.
KIRO News Radio.
The real estate market is picking up and you want to sell with the best. You need to work with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he'll sell it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell it for you. Meet the Novaks Novaks.com.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167 without a good-to-go account, you'll now receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A good-to-go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO News Radio.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
Comey case in trouble. It could be fatal to the case. Epstein files bill awaits Trump's signature. I'm sure he'll sign it, which is the right thing to do. Senior American officials to Kyiv.
This is a highly unusual trip.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, late edition. I'm Christopher Cruz. The Justice Department's criminal case against former FBI Director James Comey is in jeopardy tonight. CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarlane has details on a document blunder.
What happened here is far from customary, and it is problematic. If the full grand jury didn't see, in their words, the charging instrument being used in a criminal case. This is baseline procedure. If you're going to charge somebody through a grand jury indictment, the grand jury and the grand jurors are to review the charging document.
Comey's lawyers have asked the judge to dismiss the indictment. The bill requiring the release of the Epstein files is awaiting the president's signature. CBS's Natalie Brand reports on that from the White House.
President Trump said this week he would sign the bill into law, but continues to accuse Democrats of trying to deflect.
And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax.
The president also ordered a new investigation into Epstein's alleged ties with prominent Democrats, which has some lawmakers concerned the DOJ could use the probe to delay the release of files.
We'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency.
That was Attorney General Pam Bondi. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is scheduled to meet with American officials tomorrow in Kyiv as part of a renewed U.S. push to end Russia's invasion of his country. Here's CBS's Margaret Brennan.
Ukrainian officials tell me tomorrow they expect President Zelensky to meet with Dan Driscoll, who is the Army Secretary. And the mission includes, yes, feeling out the potential for getting back to those ceasefire talks that Ukraine and the U.S. had agreed to the parameters of, but without Russian buy-in. But it's also to talk about military technology development and to understand what's happening on the battlefield.
The big chip maker Nvidia reported strong third-quarter sales today, beating expectations by a wide margin. On the Money Watch, CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
There's so much demand for their chips that it does tell us that the AI frenzy is alive and well, the spending is alive and well, but it's not going to alleviate investor fears that those companies that are spending a bunch are not going to turn a profit at some point. 5
people have pleaded guilty to a terrorism-related charge. They'd been accused of supporting Antifa in a shooting in July that wounded a police officer outside an immigration detention center in Texas. They now face up to 15 years in prison. On Wall Street, the Dow closed up fractionally. The Nasdaq ended the day up more than 1.5%. Now this.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com.
Coming up, a botulism outbreak spreads in Washington. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, Bucky's Complete Auto Care has got this one. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are 1-hour trips. I-5 slows from the U District through Linwood, and 405 now slow pretty much from 520 all the way up to the Alderwood interchange. You'll catch a little breather there between Canyon Park and Alderwood. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. You're all clear until you hit 85th. From there, it's a slow roll through downtown Seattle. Both of our Lake bridges are doing well this afternoon. Bellevue to Renton is at a half hour. It's packed from 520 all the way down to the VMAC, really thick from mid-Bellevue to Cold Creek Parkway. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 50-minute commute. It's a half hour between Renton and Auburn, and Seattle to Federal Way right now is at 40 minutes. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Another Washington baby has been sickened in a nationwide botulism outbreak. This latest case out of Pierce County is linked to Buy Hard baby formula. Food safety attorney Bill Marla represents the family of that child and about a dozen others.
All of them have been hospitalized. Most have gotten out or will be getting out soon. Most were in pediatric intensive care units.
That formula has now been recalled. The outbreak, meantime, has spread to 15 states, sickening at least 31 infants, including one in Lewis County. No deaths have been reported. Washington's Sentencing Commission wants a major change, lighter penalties and treatments instead of jail for some adults caught in online sex crime stings.
Washington Sex Offender Policy Board Chair Brad Merrihew says in many cases, the people caught in these stings were actually seeking sex with adults.
When the person says, no, I'm 15, I'm 13, the detective convinces the person that they should come and meet with them and not to worry about it.
But Democratic Washington State Representative Lauren Davis says the defendants in these cases are going after children.
This idea that law enforcement is just like coercing or cajoling, that is illegal. There are prosecutors in the room whilst these conversations are afoot.
Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
5 years after a deadly crane collapse in Seattle, the state is tightening the rules. The Department of Labor and Industry says new requirements will help prevent accidents like the one in 2019 when a crane toppled over and killed 4 people in the South Lake Union neighborhood. Starting next year, contractors will need to undergo safety meetings and reviews by the states before they are given permits. King County unanimously passes a 2-year, $20 billion budget. It funds everything from transit and sewage to jails and drug treatments. Councilmember Reagan Dunn.
Rock solid job on this, man. He landed that plane. As far as I'm concerned, I know it doesn't look like it or feel like it, but it came out really well. So good job on a massive deal.
Budget includes a slight property tax increase, 15 cents for every $1,000 of home value. Weather update now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Looking at dry conditions the next couple of days with some showers along the coast and highs in the low 50s. Right now, 51 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
I mean, are we just like bored, spoiled children who've just been lying in the bathtub all day, just playing with their plastic duck, and now they're just thinking, well, what can I do?
Okay, yes, we are bored. We're all bored now.
That's it. My Dinner with Andre right there. Wally Shawn and Andre Gregory.
Oh,
you ever seen that?
I've watched part of it.
When are you bailing out on that one?
It was just not available. I pulled all the clips for
We're
you.
all bored. Not bored. Come on now, everybody. This guy's going to get your goat. If you don't have a goat, get a goat. And then this guy's going to get your goat.
Ooh.
Hang on. Diving into the news. There we go. I'm a fan of this man's work. I'm not just saying that because you're on the show, Ryan. Ryan McMahon. I got to say something. When I read you, I follow the work that you do at Mises Institute, and I haven't dug into your podcast yet, but I should probably check it out because it seems like right up my alley. Loot and lobbying. Who's looting and who's lobbying over there, Ryan?
That's what it's all about. All lobbying is mostly about looting, unless it's defensive, to just keep them from robbing you. So
Yeah. Well,
that's really all what it's all about.
Well, in order to loot and lobby, you got to have a government. You got to have a government that takes control. And the reason you're on is because I saw this article that you had penned. It says, leftists still want to abolish the family. And then I went and I clicked on a couple of links, which, Ryan, you owe me an hour and 55 minutes of my life because I watched the DSA, the Democratic Socialist Association there, the big group of America, and they spent, I don't know, in the 1 hour and 55 minutes talking continuously about how the structure of the American family needs to be abolished so that we can all be free. Can you sort of summarize this thinking on their part?
Well, it's hard to summarize it briefly because there's just so many wacky ideas that go into it. And I confess, I've always found it kind of interesting. Some of these just very strange, far left kind of cultural Marxist arguments about the structure of society. And it's like watching some sort of disaster unfold, a train wreck, who knows? There's just a certain fascination that it brings because the ideas are so bonkers, really, most of the time.
Right.
And so just a lot of the arguments were stuff you've probably heard before, like how all sex is rape. And so anybody who is married is forced to submit to rape constantly. They made points about how the family essentially is kind of an approximation of a prison guard prisoner relationship, that marriage is like incarceration.
Yes.
And they've got all of these theories that really that draw these connections and explain it. And it's kind of mesmerizing to listen to, just the creativity they use to come up with this. But of course, it just has no real basis in fact.
It is mesmerizing to listen to if you can understand them because they are all wearing masks. Right?
Yeah, in 2025, they're wearing masks. Yes, this is an important point.
Okay, going back to the history of it. So Karl Marx and Engels basically believe the reason communism is not taking off is because we got this problem. We have, in society, we have a family. And that structure itself is patriarchal. So you've got a man in charge. The woman is submissive to the man, and then the kids are submissive as well. And then it's almost like a little ecosystem of capitalism. So if we could get in there and break apart the family, the children would be free of this hierarchy and this oppression and capitalism. And then their eyes would be open to a whole new world in which the state, all of us together, get a chance to just sort of take care of all of us. And no one's really possessed anyone. The fact that you say, well, that is my son. Well, that is an act of possession. That's my son. And in this case, Marx believed, let's break apart the family and then we restructure society and everyone will have everything that they need.
Yeah, I mean, that's long-term socialist idea is that the family is connected to bourgeois society.
Yeah.
And that especially sort of the nuclear family, right? They saw maybe some tribal older stuff related to extended families and things like that. But then when we're talking about the nuclear family, which is not a modern invention, like David Brooks wrote a controversial article a few years ago saying the nuclear family was a mistake and claiming that it was sort of this newly invented thing. That's not true at all. Like the research, the historical data shows the nuclear family's been around a long, long time, and that most people lived in that structure going way, way back. And this idea that, everybody lived with 50 cousins and their great-grandparents, all this stuff, that was never really the norm in a long, long time, maybe in tribal societies.
Yeah.
And so the Marxists associated this nuclear family with, it's just bourgeois economics and it's bourgeois thinking, and we can get rid of it. Then people their minds will open up to these other arrangements. And of course, we could point out other places too where this crops up in the French Revolution, where the family was then seen as this old traditional structure that had to be broken down. And heck, even Plato trashes the idea.
Where's he today, Ryan? Where's Plato today?
Yeah, right. I have heard of him, so
that's true.
That's in his favor.
Well, listen, so it says, the fact of the family is the obstacle to state power, which brings us to the state of Washington. We sent you a story. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it. I think Fox News did it. It's basically explaining how the state wants to continue to be more and more involved in the raising of the child. And we had an initiative. We basically said it's Parents' Bill of Rights. If something happens to the kid in school, the parent needs to be notified right away. If the kid decides, you know how any 13-year-old can self-diagnose with some type of mental condition, and they could all of a sudden say, no, I'm actually a girl, but no, I'm a boy, I'm non-binary, whatever. The state is allowed to withhold that information from the parent. So maybe I'm just, paranoid or something, but it seems to me that you get the folks from the Democratic Socialists of America, or you get Karl Marx, the idea that the state needs to slide in there, break apart the family. Am I overreacting to some of this stuff, Ryan, or do you think you see some of it, or am I seeing goblins everywhere?
Well, I'm better safe than sorry. I think you're safer to be on the more paranoid side of things. I mean, why would you trust these people with your children? It seems like it's unwise to come down on that side of things. And I watched the story as well. And of course, I used to work at the Colorado State Legislature, so I've watched state politics here for years and years. And we've had similar things over the years. And obviously, it's a selective argument that, you're allowed to determine what you do with your body for this thing, but you're not allowed, say, for when you can. Heck, these are the same people who are raising the smoking age to 21, right? Yeah. So that tells you everything you need to know about consistency there. They have a certain type of sexual politics, and they want to impose it, and they want to take it away from the parents. They want to make sure the parents don't have influence over the child's decision making. And of course, what they always claim is, the parents, they brainwash their children. So we don't want that. We're going to brainwash them in the schools. I mean, that's all they really want to do.
So Ryan, with that thought, let's continue it. Is that because there is this cabal of socialists or communists or Marxists that are on top of all of this, and they're telling these teachers to do this sort of stuff, and everybody's blind to the fact that there is this group above them, these Marxists that want to break up the family and then create this new society? Or is it just happens to look that way?
I don't think it's a direct line, explicit line of communication. I think, however, what you witnessed in that social democrats or democratic socialist video, right? That's at an academic level where they're talking about all of these theories about family and children, all that stuff. That stuff has a way of filtering down and really sort of permeating the larger culture, especially the sort of people who lean left. They really are being exposed to that in just in social situations and in the books they read and all the stuff. And then they start to believe that stuff, whether they were told to believe it or not by someone at a higher level. So that just gets into their thinking. And then they think, well, obviously these parents, they're old, they're right wing, they're stodgy, they're too religious. We need to free children's minds from this. I remember this when I was a PhD student, was all these discussions about the undergraduate students, because we were grading them, right? We were teaching the undergraduates. It's like, you're going to get a lot of students that are going to come in here and they've got all these retrograde religious ideas. And how are you going to deal with that? There was this explicit idea of we have to free their minds from this old fashioned thinking. And that, I'm sure that's just everywhere generally on the left, and they see the public schools as the perfect place to carry out those sorts of policies, which it is.
Right.
The public schools are the perfect way to carry out that sort of policy.
And why is it that why is the trans sort of activists so much aligned with socialism, and then also this idea of creating multiple genders, and then also seeing to want to sort of put the split and create a wedge between the mother and the father and the child? Do you draw lines there?
That's a good question, and it's not totally clear to me because the left wasn't always that way. You could look at, say, like the old 1920s and 30s left, and it was really the working class labor type left. Which had very different ideas about the purpose of the family and so on. They were much more aligned with just working class worker thinking, which was seen as lower income than the bourgeois middle class. But now the thinking seems to come from people with PhDs and master's degrees, mostly white people with certainly above median levels of income, that sort of thing. And that seems to be where most of that thinking comes from. I think part of the reason, though, is that the people who who think in those terms and are very concerned about sort of the transgender thing, the LGBT thing, they tend to have a lot of money. So what you have is a very small percentage of the general population with large amounts of money guiding the thinking through those interest groups. I think that's really where that's coming from. It used to be more of a mass appeal sort of thing, the American left, and it's really changed into this small sliver of wealthy people who I think control the ideology now.
You know, it's funny. I thought I'd have you on here, and that you would be farther out into. And we're using the word right for lack of a better word. I'm beyond you on all of this because I'm like looking at you, Ryan. I'm like, well, let me ask you this one. So we had Otto von Bismarck, right, sets up, hey, we're going to start to provide the welfare state. He did it primarily because he wanted to stop communism because they saw communism as a big threat. So come up, quick, come up with something. So Bismarck's like, I got an idea. How about retirement? How about we pay for this and how about we pay for that? Now, he was not a communist by any means, but he sort of used the money in order to stop everybody from looking at communism as a possibility. Now, the question is, does the state step in and start to provide food for all the kids and then additional payments for everybody? And so the state you become dependent upon the state for so much, not only food, but clothing and then education, and then we're going to give you money. You don't have to go to work. The dependence upon the state. And I think it was Otto Bismarck said that if we can make them dependent, we can count on their vote. I don't know if that's ever attributed to him, but I've seen it written numerous times. So is the fact that like the state wanting to feed all the kids, regardless of how much money you make, that the state will feed, is that also not another wedge where the state is coming in and trying to break apart the child from the mother and father? Or am I in Cuckoo Town? Am I in Cuckoo Town right now?
Well, Bismarck said this explicitly. That I think the quote you're looking for is when Bismarck said something along the lines of, "Is we want to chain the people to us with the chains of gratitude." They wanted to create this idea that we, the ruling class, will make the working class very thankful to us, and we'll do what we say then.
Yes.
And this was explicit.
Yeah.
And he thought he would also get them elected. It didn't actually work. They ended up losing out to the Socialists a few years later. But yeah, it shouldn't be forgotten that the conservatives in Europe essentially invented the welfare state. This was true in England as well, where the people we now call the Tories, they hated the middle class. They hated like the entrepreneur class of people, the people who own the factories, the people who own small businesses. They called those people the least patriotic people in England. Why? Because they were financially independent and they wanted to create something new and different and independent of the British ruling class. And so they were hated by the conservatives at that time, even though these were bourgeois middle class people who socially were quite conservative. In fact, their middle class values were far more conservative than those of the ruling class, who were always gallivanting with their mistresses and everything, right? And so there's been that long tension there where they have used then their power to try and do an end run around the middle classes and create this bond between the wealthy ruling class and create dependency with the working class, people who they felt could be bought, and also people who they could then prevent from becoming financially independent on their own. They didn't want that,
right? Because
then those people would owe the state nothing and not be filled with gratitude for the gifts of the state. So it's been an explicit policy.
So when you see the amount of money that's being spent on social services, and like, for instance, okay, so they stopped the SNAP benefits for a while, and then we are beaten over the head with stories of the fact that the mother can't feed the child, and that 44 million Americans are on food stamps or getting assistance from the government. Isn't that another link in that chain of gratitude and dependence?
Oh, I think very much so. And it also coincides with further decline in the family and marriage and child rearing and all of that stuff. You'll hear from both leftists and from conservatives this idea that, well, if we just create government policy to support people more. Just about 5 years ago, the conservatives were on this big kick to create a federal program for paid family leave.
Yes.
I remember this was all over the news back then. And then, of course, the left is always saying, well, if you just give more socialized medicine now, people will have more children and they'll raise families more. But that's not true at all. It's well documented now that in Sweden, as the welfare state expanded, the birth rate went down. It's now well documented that in Poland and Hungary, where in recent decades, they have implemented explicit policies designed to make people have more children, hasn't worked at all,
Yeah.
that the birth rate has only continued to go down. So this idea that, well, people will be better off, they'll be more financially secure, and then maybe, hey, they'll even have more children, it never works.
The system of trying to break up the family, which is Marxists have been trying to do since 1857. It's still going on today. Are they making progress with all of the inroads, either through schooling or through any other form of education or indoctrination? Are they starting to break apart the family? Is it dissolving because of the efforts of the state?
Well, there are some pretty monumental studies that go back into the 1960s. One is the most famous one is, I think, by a sociologist named David Popenoe. And his goes from 1960 to 1990. And he says, look, this is just a story of decline. Every metric we look at, the family is in decline. And this is in marriage rates. It's in the number of children people have. It's in the amount of time people spend with their children, right? The amount of time people spend around family members has gone down significantly in recent decades. So now often the longest lasting, the most significant relationship in your life is not with a family member, it's with some state agent, or it's with that government check you get every month. That's the most reliable, regular thing in your life, is some sort of transaction you have with a government agency. And because many of these people, the number of people who live alone, the number of divorcees, the unmarried, all the childless, all of these numbers have gone way, way up, and family simply is receding as an important institution.
Thanks, Ryan McMahon. What a horrible way to end this interview. Say one thing positive.
Hey, well, I mean, I think a lot of people are starting to figure this out.
There we go.
The younger people, Gen Z, I think they're figuring out they were brainwashed. They got screwed on this, and they at least seem to think that something is wrong. Have they figured out the solution? I don't think so, but at least they know something.
They know something's wrong. And if you know something's right as well, go to Loot and Lobbying, your podcast, your great work. I'll continue to follow all of your great writing. Thanks a lot for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, there's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Thanks, John. Home Comfort Alliance has our update. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett have both tipped the 1 hour scale, hour and 5 minutes. I-5, you're heavy from the U District through Linwood. 405 is solid from Kirkland to Alderwood. Now, prior to that, we've got a brief backup there. It's pretty thick at the I-90 interchange from a disabled vehicle that was just recently cleared. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. You're packed at 85th to I-90. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. It's packed at 520 all the way to the VMAC in Renton now. Seattle to Federal Way is a 40-minute drive. You're slow from MLK Junior Way to South 260th and Federal Way. Tacoma to Olympia is at 50 minutes. You got a 3-mile thick backup through JBLM. And we've got a new blocking issue westbound 512 through Puyallup. It's near Canyon Road. A disabled vehicle just reported, and you're backed up into the South Hill curve. The Black Friday Comfort Sale is on now at Home Comfort Alliance. Save up to 75%, plus enjoy 18 months 0% financing OAC. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Went to go see Dr. Wagner today for my 6-week follow-up. Took about 5 minutes. He goes, how you doing? I said, great. He checked the flexibility in the hip. He goes, no problem. I said, nope. Have you noticed changes? I said, yep. I don't have to sleep with a pillow between my legs. I don't have numbness running down my leg as well. If I drive the car and get out of the car for a little bit, I'm able to walk right away. In fact, the other day I ran. He's like, I told you not to run. I said, okay, now can I run? He said, slowly but surely get back into a jog at a slight incline. I said, I can't wait. Here's what Dr. Wagner has done at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. He has given me back one of my great joys, which is running. I have not been able to put on my running shoes and do any miles for about 7 years. I used to do half marathons and 5Ks and 10Ks and marathons, but my hip went out. So I got a stem cell procedure 6 weeks ago, and I'm just waiting for Dr. Mark Wagner to sign it off on me that go ahead, Curly, go out and run 5 miles. People that have bad hips and knees and wrists and shoulders, they get back their joys of being able to enjoy running or golf or tennis or whatever else it is. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Find out more before you do surgery. Check out drmarkwagnermd.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
You know what I really like about freeways? They don't have traffic signals. Or do they? Coming to Bothell Woodinville, this is all part of the expansion of the express toll lanes through the Bothell area. Where that's happening and how it's going to mess up your drive, tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's choke points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
I'm Macy House with Baird Global Investment Banking. In today's markets, global financial capabilities aren't worth much without personal attention to your priorities. Baird Banking, Research, and Private Equity professionals are located across 3 continents, sharing more than investment expertise. As employee owners of our firm, we all have a personal stake in your success, here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Out at the Wilcox family farm, our hens roam freely on fresh green pasture. But that means predators like coyotes and eagles are always nearby. That's where our team of Great Pyrenees help out. These gentle giants were born to protect, and they become a part of our family. Raised alongside the chickens from puppyhood. Our hens are raised humanely, our practices are organic, and our promise is simple. Fresh eggs straight from our farm to your table. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. Heartbreaking moments today inside a Thurston County courtroom where a double murder suspect faced a judge and the victim's family. The 20-year-old man is accused of killing two teenage brothers in a drive-by shooting in Lacey last Friday. Their mother spoke directly to the alleged killer.
My son Devin
had all A's in school. He went to church. My son Alex just changed his life, had all A's, was doing good. You killed 2 innocent boys. I hope you sleep at night with that.
Police tracked down and arrested that suspect in Wenatchee just yesterday. He remains in jail after a judge denied bail. 17-year-old boy who was shot in the back multiple times was then arrested at Harborview Medical Center. KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch explains.
SPD got the call for a man down with gunshot wounds just after 7 p.m. Tuesday night in South Seattle's Rainier Vista neighborhood. First responders rushed the teen to Harborview Medical Center in serious condition, then learned there was a warrant for his arrest. SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
Our robbery unit detectives learned that the teenage boy was wanted in connection with unrelated robbery charges, and he was placed under arrest at the hospital.
So far, there is no suspect and no motive for the shooting. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Starting January 1st, you will pay more for plastic carry-out bags. The Department of Ecology says the fee is rising 8 cents to 12 cents per bag at restaurants and retailers. Paper bags will still stay at 8 cents. The increase is part of a 2020 law designed to cut down on single-use plastics and encourage reusable options. Spokane County says it is turning to artificial intelligence to ease pressure on its overwhelmed non-emergency line. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey explains.
Spokane emergency officials say the problem is they get 250,000 non-emergency calls every year, and half don't involve crimes. Their new AI system will tackle those issues like abandoned cars, minor traffic issues, or general questions, even translating English and Spanish, keeping emergency lines open. Sheriff John Knowles says AI won't touch 911 calls. The price tag is $95,000 a year, a little more than 2.5 calls per dollar spent. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both a little over 1 hour commutes. I-5 heavy from the U District through North Linwood. 405, we're solid from 520 all the way up to that Alderwood interchange. Linwood to Seattle, give yourself 35 minutes. You're going to jam up at 85th through downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're 25 minutes max on I-90 and 520. Bellevue to Renton, a 35-minute commute. You're packed at 520 all the way to the VMAC down there in Renton. Seattle to Federal Way is a 40-minute commute. It's slow from MLK Junior Way to South 260th as you head into Federal Way. Tacoma to Olympia is a 50-minute drive, and we've still got this stall. It's westbound 512 in Puyallup near Canyon Road. It's blocking the lane. Unsure which one, but you're backed up almost to Meridian, and now eastbound 512 is backed up almost to Portland Avenue. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast is brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Looking at dry conditions tonight, increasing clouds, a few showers at the coast, spotty light rain early tomorrow before drying out later in the day. Right now, 50 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO TV's Pinpoint Alert Days. It's your advance notice to stay safe. When weather threatens to damage and disrupt your daily life, KIRO 7 sounds the alarm, preparing you days in advance. Stay informed, stay prepared with KIRO 7 Pinpoint Alert Days, only on KIRO 7 News.
Wow, I was going to say well read, well said, Joe, but that was pretty bad. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I didn't have it.
We're ready for it. Bucky's Auto Service Centers, Aaron. You know, they've been around for 50 years. You stop and think about it. 50 years is a long time for a service center. But when you find out they've got 16 locations, you just want to just jump up and down and just grab parts of your body. Bucky's Auto Service Centers have been around. Who wrote that? That's terrible. Been around for 50 years.
Wow.
My friend Jeff Austin's not going to want to come on now.
I know.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from Base Construction. You're on it for two reasons. One, I just want to have a good laugh at your expense. Tell everybody what my wife and I did when you and your wife were alone in the house and didn't know what we were doing outside of your home, just for fun.
So, yeah, we were, it was a Sunday morning, and it was PJ day. And so we were all in our PJs, and we look out, and all of a sudden we see what do they call those boards that outside for the realtors for an open house. And Nicole put a open house sign out in front of our house just to see if anybody would stop by and knock on the door while we're in our PJs. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Good work.
Awesome. It was, if I may take credit, Jeff, it was my idea. Nick and I both. And the funniest thing was, we went in, we get the sign, we went in there later on, and you're like, God, thank God nobody came in, because it's just one of these days that Mary and I just never got out of our pajamas. We spent all day watching TV, and then like 8 o'clock rolls around, like, I guess we should just go to bed now. Because you were so tired, because you were so busy building quality apartment buildings. And you've been in this now. How long have you been building buildings, large constructions, apartment stuff in the Seattle area?
1990.
Whoa. Okay.
So, yeah, long time.
Long time. So you've seen the good days, you've seen the bad days. There's a piece that came out today that in 2019 you couldn't get a crane. They were all in Seattle. Everybody was building. It was a big boom. So the question for you, Jeff Austin, what happened from 2019 to where we are right now in Seattle and building permits and just construction as a whole?
Yeah. So essentially during the boom time, it was. I call it cheap money, because our clients were borrowing at 4%, 3%, 4%.
Yeah.
So then the boom hit, and then just like with Meta or Microsoft or any of those other big companies that were just hiring, right? Couldn't find enough people. It got to a point where the good times ended, and now you're laying off a bunch of people. Well, the cities and municipalities didn't do that. So they had all this revenue coming in from the boom times with building permit costs and street use costs and all these other fees that they charge. Turns out that, they don't let anybody go ever. And so in order for them to keep all those people, they have to raise prices, which obviously puts a damper on continuing buildings, because now your costs have gone up and it doesn't make sense or pencil out for our clients to continue to build.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this now. Yeah, they're looking at this from Axios, right? A 50% drop in annual average when it comes to just overall number of permits. And the reason this is also relevant today to the news, yesterday, I don't know if you saw this or not, Jeff, as a developer, that the City Council of Seattle says, well, listen, we're not getting enough permits from the big construction guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the little guys and we're going to raise their permitting costs in order to offset the loss from the fact that the big ones are not building, so there's no permit money coming from them. Will this affect some of the projects you're working on, or are we talking with smaller projects?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're not a big builder by any stretch of the imagination. We build from 30 units up to 120 units. And, the 120 units might sound like a lot, and it is. It's, $40 million worth of revenue. But the reality of it is they can't continue to do that and expect people to continue to build. There's no such thing as low-income housing or affordable housing to be built by small investors, small developers.
Why is that, Jeff? Why is that?
Well, if you think about it, it takes 18 months. Let's say it takes about 18 months to get a building permit in the city of Seattle. And that's from, so the owners are out there, they're buying a piece of property, putting, $3, $4, $5 million down on a piece of property, and they got those carrying costs, right? Everything's about time and money. So if you're carrying, for 18 months, instead of, let's say, if the city could figure out how to make it 12 months or 10 months or outsource it to a private company to get the turnaround faster. You can just imagine, okay, now the owner's saving, even if he saves $100,000, well, maybe that's $100,000 that he take off, $10 a month of rent at the end of the day. It's just all about, how long it takes to build. And it takes so long to build nowadays. We used to build, in 12, 14 months, and now it's 20 months. And a lot of that is just the regulations that are put upon us with Seattle City Light. And, Seattle City Light tells you right now that you're 16 weeks to get permanent power from final sign-off.
16 weeks.
Sign-off is 4 months. So your building's essentially done, and they say that they got up to 16 weeks to give you power for your building. So I think there's just there's a lot of it's all about carrying costs, really.
Right.
I mean, construction costs are high for sure, but that was representative of what transpired really with everybody hiring so many people, and then people just wages just went out of control.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that's a municipality thing. That was just, market thing.
Jeff, as I go to let you go, when the mayor, Bruce Harrell, the former mayor, was in here, I told him your story. I said, a friend of mine's a developer. He needed the city to be able to sign off before they poured the concrete. He sent the thing in on the 4th of October, did not get a return till the 18th of October. I said, you know what that cost him? He didn't have an answer. I said it cost him $50,000. That's $50,000 of carrying cost while they're waiting for the city to respond. Now, when did the envelope get there? I'm sure it probably got there on the 6th. Why did it sit on that desk? It didn't cost the person any money, but it certainly cost the developer. But ultimately, it cost the apartment dweller the money, because that is additional fee, the additional cost that has to be sandwiched into the monthly rent. I said, so the inefficiency of the system, like you said, you can't build affordable housing because there's this monstrosity of bureaucracy. Those are my words, not yours, because you have to still work with the city and I don't, Jeff, slowing this whole process down. So, right now at this point, they're going to keep adding more and more taxes, more and more permits, and they'll have less and less homes.
Yeah, there just won't be people building.
Wow.
It doesn't pencil. And you can't expect guys, especially small developers, to, go out there and build a building just because and not expect to make any money at all and lose money on it. So
exactly.
Doesn't make sense.
No. Well, listen, good luck with the open house on Sunday, okay? Get out of your pajamas, for God's sake.
The sign is now in front of your house. So just so you know.
Okay. Well, I'll have to get on my PJs. Give Mary my best. Let's get dinner again soon, okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Okay, here's Nate checking traffic. Sorry I'm late, Nate.
D.R. Horton, Seattle to Everett is an hour, 10-minute commute. Bellevue to Everett, hour 5. Linwood to Seattle's up just a bit to 40 minutes. It's packed now from Northgate to I-90. North 5 is packed in the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton, give yourself 40 minutes. It's solid from 520 all the way down to Northeast 44th there near the VMAC. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 45 minutes. We've got this blocking issue in Puyallup, westbound 512 near Canyon Road. I'm told it's a disabled vehicle, but these backups are growing exponentially. Right now, westbound 512, you're actually backed up all the way onto the Valley Freeway. Eastbound 512 is backed up almost to I-5. If you're in the area, send us a text and tell us what you're seeing. Move-in ready homes from D.R. Horton, America's builder across Puget Sound and Central Washington. Find yours at drhorton.com, an equal housing opportunity builder. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I've been going to Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009. And I'm a huge fan. I love the fact that just 4 times a year, I do a blood draw. And then I get a chance to talk to my doctor for an hour. I could do it in person or over the phone. 1 hour. You think that's a long time. Yeah, because the blood draw and the results back are so intense. I mean, there's about 54 things they're testing for. And my doctor is constantly looking at any changes in all of those, because what she's seeing is how I am aging. Are we slowing down the process? Am I picking up increased chances of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer? And if I am, what do we do about it? How do we start to combat these big 3 diseases that take most of us out of the game early on before it becomes a big problem? And that's why Longevity Medical Clinic, using the latest science, is proactive rather than reactive. They're looking for the early signs and then slowing them down or stopping them or reversing them. You want to find out more? You be proactive right now. Sign up, take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
This season, gift yourself the chance to slow down and truly savor holiday wonders just a short journey from home. Victoria, BC glows with festive lights, charming traditions, and the space to reconnect with yourself, loved ones, and the joy of the season. Victoria is just a scenic ferry or seaplane ride from Seattle, making it the perfect getaway. This Christmas, step into a more relaxed rhythm. Plan your trip at tourismvictoria.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Husky Nation, the rivalry is on, but this time it's bigger than football. This holiday season, we're taking a fight from the field to the table with Rivalry for a Reason, a competition fundraiser between UW and Oregon fans to tackle food insecurity across the Northwest. Every dollar you donate counts as a vote, and votes are unlimited. So let's outgive the Ducks and show our Husky pride. 100% goes to households in need, thanks to Safeway and Northwest Harvest. Visit dogsvsducks.org today.
The real estate market is picking up and you want to sell with the best. You need to work with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he'll sell it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell it for you. Meet the Novaks Novaks.com.
Wow, that's exciting.
Wow.
It's a 10-second spot I had to read, I think, as fast as I could for the Novak team. Let's see, the Epstein files are being released.
The Earhart files.
And the Earhart files are also being released. Does anybody care about Amelia Earhart?
No, I don't think so.
Did she drive in? Did she fly anybody to Epstein Island?
See, they haven't looked there yet.
Okay, fine.
I think you're putting it all together.
Wait a minute. Oh, so it's like, to distract from the Epstein files. Now, to finally quench the thirst that so many Americans like, what about Amelia Earhart? Yeah, but what about Amelia Earhart?
I don't know if you ever saw Trump's Truth Social post when he announced that he was going to release the Earhart files.
Capital letters.
Yeah.
Finally.
He was all caps, just screaming.
Yeah, you know what really pushed the Epstein files to be released was MAGA. Because he promised in 2024, I'm going to let them all go.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he was sort of, obfuscating from, we don't really care about that. Nobody cares about the Epstein files. The MAGA people are like, wait a minute. You told us you were going to drain the swamp. You told us you would expose the deep state. Now, are you protecting the deep state? What are you afraid of? So he's getting a lot of hard push from all of his supporters. So finally, the vote went through. The president signs it. They need to do a little special move to have everybody vote on this thing. They all said yes. So now 20,000 files or pages are going to come out, and you're going to see all the different names. It's interesting because Larry Summers, who works for Harvard, has been apologizing all over the place. And he's like, look, I'm sorry, whatever. I didn't mean to talk to him. Yeah, really? Oh, I talked to him. What you talk to him about? And then all these text messages and emails that Epstein was sending back and forth to all these people.
Well, Summers was on the board for OpenAI.
And he's out of there, too. Because he knows it's more than just talking.
Big time.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll hit that one. Plus also, what else you want to jump in there with? Oh, the snowy weather. Is it going to be a bad winter for us? And then I'm going to be answering all of the nice people that invited me over to their house for Christmas. Should we choose one today?
I don't know. You got a bunch of good options. I think it's too early to choose.
Okay, fine. Let's go to Nate. Checking traffic, Nathan.
Thanks, John. Let's get you updated with our big blocking issue down on 512. Really, it's westbound 512 near Canyon Road. Turns out this is a car fire causing these big backups in both directions. Thanks to 253 for texting us, texting in and letting us know. Westbound is backed up bumper to bumper onto the Valley Freeway. Eastbound 512 stop and go from I-5 to the scene. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are big backups as well. Both of you are about an hour, 10-minute commutes. Linwood to Seattle, 40 minutes. It's packed in Northgate I-90. And Tacoma to Olympia, plan on 50 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate, for that fast one. I know what it's like. You're watching the hair beginning to thin, and then next thing you know, the crown disappears, and then you're looking at hair loss, and it just starts to rob you of your identity. Well, that's the way I felt until I visited Advanced Hair. And the reason I went to Advanced Hair is because they have this simple one-day treatment. And they regrew my own natural hair. They do the exact same thing for you. Because if you notice that your hair is beginning to thin, I had a guy come up to me yesterday, and he's like, "What do you think? Should I go there?" He's looking around. Yeah. You want to get your hair back? You should definitely go to Advanced Hair. So I'm diagnosing people one person at a time. You simply need to do this. You set up a free consultation. They gave you $250 off. 250 free hair graft. You just call them at 425-449-8185. And you don't want to wait because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. That's 2 years in a row for those guys. They do good work over there. Give them a call, 425-449-8185. AdvancedHair.com, AdvancedHair.com.
It's official. Seattle will have a new mayor.
I just spoke with Mayor-elect Katie Wilson to congratulate her on a hard-fought victory.
Stay with KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com for the latest.
I believe in good government, and I believe that there's a lot of work that needs to be done inside City Hall.
From the trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
Seattle has spoken, asking about real change.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfield. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings Wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang, that one little ad.
all the rest. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. The bill that forces the Justice Department to release the Epstein files has been delivered to the White House, but it's not clear when the president will sign it. CBS's Erica Brown is at the White House.
Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Justice Department will follow the law when she was asked whether those unclassified materials related to the Epstein probe would be released within 30 days. As you noted there, the measure stipulates that with President Trump's signature, which at this point we are still awaiting, it kicks off a 30-day clock for these unclassified materials to be released, which could include flight logs, documents, communications, to reveal more information about Epstein and those connected to him.
Former Treasury Secretary and former Harvard President Larry Summers spoke to students at Harvard at the beginning of his economics class today about his links to Epstein.
Some of you will have seen my statement of regret, expressing my shame with respect to what I did in communication with Mr. Epstein, and that I've said that I'm going to step back from public activities.
Recently released emails show Summers maintained a friendly relationship with Epstein. Harvard has now reopened an investigation into Summers' actions. A blunder by the U.S. attorney prosecuting the criminal case against former FBI Director James Comey could give the judge in the case a reason to dismiss the indictment. Former federal prosecutor Lori Levinson.
The federal prosecutor, the new U.S. attorney that was appointed right before this case was indicted, never, ever presented the final indictment to the grand jury.
New Orleans is the next target for immigration agents. The operation could begin in a couple of weeks. CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez says the Department of Homeland Security is anticipating pushback.
Officials have even requested armored vehicles and special response teams for New Orleans. That could be an indicator that the administration expects a strong community reaction in New Orleans, just like it has seen in Chicago and Los Angeles.
Serious charges have been brought against a man who police say doused a woman with gasoline and then set her on fire on a train in Chicago Monday night. Here's U.S. Attorney Andrew Boutros. Ultras.
Today, the Chicago U.S. Attorney's Office filed a federal terrorism charge against Lawrence Reed, a 50-year-old Chicago resident, in connection with a brutal and vicious attack on a young woman.
The woman is in the hospital now in critical condition. Stocks closed in the green today after 4 days of sharp losses. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up fractionally. The S&P 500 ended the day up almost 0.5%. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, a second case of infant botulism in Washington linked to baby formula. The updates after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
And this one's brought to us by Seattle Sports. In Puyallup, we've got a car fire westbound 512 near Canyon Road, obviously blocking a lane. That's what's causing big backups. Westbound 512 is backed up all the way onto the Valley Freeway. That's a bumper-to-bumper backup. Eastbound 512, we're down to stop-and-go volumes back from I-5 to the scene. Seattle to Everett, an hour 10. It's heavy from the U District through Linwood. Really thick between Northgate and Shoreline. Bellevue to Everett at hour 5. It's solid from Bellevue to Alderwood, and once you enter Kirkland, it gets really thick. Linwood to Seattle, 40-minute commute. It's packed from Northgate to I-90, very typical for this time of day. Seattle to Federal Way is a 40-minute commute. Tacoma to Olympia is at 50 minutes. Bellevue to Renton will take you 35, and we've got a new collision out toward Lake Sammamish, eastbound 90 at West Lake Sammamish Parkway. This one blocks the center lane. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. No deaths reported, but an outbreak of botulism linked to baby formula is now growing.
The CDC says there are now 31 cases of infant botulism in 15 states linked to ByHeart baby formula. That includes 2 cases in Washington.
It can kill.
Seattle Food Safety Attorney Bill Marler explains.
The botulism spore gets into their large intestine and essentially manufactures the most deadly toxin known to man, botulism.
Marler says he represents about a dozen families who want to prevent similar outbreaks in the future. ByHeart says it voluntarily recalled its products in close cooperation with the FDA. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
Cleanup efforts continue at the site of a damaged pipeline near Everett. KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker reports the Olympic pipeline is currently shut down.
Crews have not yet figured out how much fuel has leaked there, but according to the Seattle Times, this shutdown may increase gas prices through the Thanksgiving weekend.
Now, BP operates that pipeline. It has not yet given a timeline for repair. The pipeline moves gas, diesel, even jet fuel to sites in Seattle and SeaTac down to Tacoma, Vancouver, and Portland. King County unanimously passes a 2-year, $20 billion budget. It funds everything from transit and sewage to jails and drug treatments, and it also includes a small property tax increase.
County Council increased property tax to 15 cents for every $1,000 of assessed home value. But the big winner, affordable housing, including approval of an amendment by Councilmember Teresa Mosqueda to Trump-proof housing assistance from any federal cuts.
The very funding that we have been able to rely on for decades is at threat.
One of the losers, Council approved just 9 out of the 58 positions the prosecutor's office asked for, but gave more money to behavioral health services and the King County Sexual Assault Resource Center. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Now, despite a recent headline claiming Mount Rainier might erupt, experts say that's not true. They say unusual readings were caused by a faulty sensor that won't be fixed until spring. All other sensors at the mountain are showing normal activity. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors, looking at some increasing clouds tonight, but no rain unless you're on the coast. Just some light showers there. Spotty light rain tomorrow morning before drying out later in the afternoon. Right now, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
By the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
Okay, in a serious manner on the John Curley Show. We can do that, can't we? All right, everybody.
Sure.
go.
Here we go. Getting on the microphone. Driving in the news. He has two main jobs. Got to find the letter of the day. People are pouring in with all sorts of interesting stuff. So this guy writes in that his father was the agent that arrested Patty Hearst.
Yes.
Look at this.
Said, oh, you should have my dad on.
Should have him on.
Working on it.
Okay. And then also, Teeny's going to spin the Wilcox 24-hour Meg's recipe wheel. All right, a couple of quick stories. We didn't get to it, but it is the big news, the fact that the president has signed it, and now they said, yes, we will release the 20,000 emails that Epstein apparently has all in using just no punctuation and no capitalization on any email, writing Epstein. The problem is that a lot of these letters, not a lot, but a certain portion of these letters are client attorney privilege letters. You will not be able to release those. So now people, they're hiding stuff. Well, legally, you're not allowed to do that. So if you were to put that stuff out there, you're violating the creed, the oath of a attorney-client privilege. So some of them will be redacted or possibly not released at all. And that's going to cause more people to go, well, here we go. They're covering more stuff up. But what's out there? What do we know? What's going to be released? I think the important thing is the fact that the Amelia Earhart letters are finally being released. That's what everybody wants.
At the Seattle Museum of Flight, a tribute to Amelia Earhart and an exact replica of her Lockheed Electra plane. The very tight cockpit and rudimentary controls that she used while trying to fly around the world in 1937.
I'm impressed by how constricted the space is. Right.
Archaeologist Richard Pettigrew is on a mission to find Earhart's real plane.
Amelia Earhart on a globe-girdling flight with navigator Fred Noonan.
The mystery has lasted for 88 years. What happened to Earhart and Noonan? An international search turned up nothing.
This is the first image.
But now a new team is preparing to head to this remote island in early November, zeroing in on a lagoon. Is that a piece of Earhart's plane peeking above the sand?
I don't know.
The satellite photo was snapped in 2015, a year after a massive tropical storm shifted the sand, potentially revealing the plane.
So it could easily be buried by sediment in the water.
Pettigrew will lead the 15-person team to Nicomararo in Kiribati.
Okay, I don't care enough. Your last 14 seconds of this guy really excited about this.
They're there right now.
Yes, they released the email. So Trump said, yeah, so the files in National Archives are finally being released because so many people wanted to know. Hoping to bury the rest of the news. Here's the strange thing. So 2024, the president says, yeah, sure, let's let it all out there. Let them see it all. And then he kind of backed off all of that. And when Bondi went and did a press conference, or she was out in front of the White House saying, I have the files on my desk. And people, okay, what are the files? Where are they? Well, we don't have any files. What files are you talking about? It was just all over the place.
Well, remember they actually gave these files, the phase 1, to all the influencers, the big binder that was the Epstein files phase 1 that had nothing that hadn't been out.
It said
already.
C's phase 2.
Yeah.
That's what the file said. So finally, you get enough in there. The Senate and the House all get together and they all agree, except for one guy held out on it. Was it not Chip Roy? Who was it?
Don't know.
I can't remember. It wasn't Roy. From Louisiana. Name slips me. Anyway, he said, no, I'm not going to be involved in this.
Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins, yeah. I'm not going to do this because this is not right. This isn't how we run these laws. This is not what you're supposed to do. So Higgins steps out, but they got enough to vote on it, so then they all vote yes, push through parliamentary procedures on this. That goes to the president's desk. He signs the thing, and now it's going to be released.
I don't think he has signed it yet.
Oh, he's going to sign it.
Yeah, it's on his desk.
Fine. He's going to sign the thing, and then, the CNN's got it right now. So new information triggers new Epstein investigation last week. No further disclosures would be appropriate or warranted. Okay. So what you're going to find is that a lot of people went to this guy because this guy knew a lot of people. So, and he also used people in order for power. And the emails are there. People asking him to come to dinners and then donate to their political campaigns. Can you please connect me with this person or that person? And Epstein liked the fact that he had all of these power folks. He saw himself as a power broker, and they would write for various questions. I mean, was it Larry Summers who was asking about advice about his relationships and things like that? I mean, weird stuff that they'd go to Epstein for. And he was more than happy to keep all of these people in his little, control group, like having dinner. Bill Gates said, well, I should have never had dinner with him. The guy was a weird dude to begin with. When you walked into his brownstone house there in New York City, as you headed up the steps, to the left, I believe, on the wall is a giant portrait of Bill Clinton in Monica Lewinsky's blue dress. Can you imagine being Bill Clinton walking, hey, well, there I am. Wow, look at that. Look at that. They're in the blue dress. He has until he accidentally killed himself. He had a giant table, and he would sit at one end, and whoever else was there would sit at the other end, and draped over the table was an American flag. So that was in Epstein's brownstone in New York City. It's such a strange guy. Anyway, a giant American flag over the table, and he was just weird. They finally got him in 2008 for, I think, soliciting underage, but they never got him for anything else. His lawyers were much better than what the state had. So they got him, I think, for 2 years or something like that. And then he was sort of, under house arrest and he couldn't travel, but didn't do much to stop the guy. Then he comes out of that and he still has all of his money and he still has all of his power. I saw an interesting piece that was done. Somebody investigated to see, because every time, if he was an international trader of currency or whatever else he was doing, you have to register all that stuff. So this guy's going into this rabbit hole and seeing, like, where's Epstein's trades? Like, where did he get the money? Which then leads to people, he was part of CIA, and his main job was to put powerful people in compromising positions, missionary and some other positions, and then get photographs of it and then use that in order to have the person do whatever they want them to do, or I will release all of this sort of stuff. Pretty simple way of gaining power over powerful people. So now we're going to find all the emails are going to come out. And this is going to take a whole bunch of time. 20,000 of them are released, and people are going to pour over all of them, and then we'll see who's guilty of what.
So here's another complication. So when Trump said, I believe last week, that they need to investigate the Democrats, the Clintons, the Gates in relation to the Epstein files. Right. What that would do, if they do open an investigation, which he was calling for,
then they'll have to seal some of that.
Then all the release gets put on hold because it's an active investigation. So nothing gets released, despite whatever the bill Congress passed through. So
why can't we just agree that rich men that are not that good looking but have a ton of money like to get it on? And maybe they like to, unfortunately, get it on with women, young women, 18, 17, 18, right in there. They like that sort of, that age group. And they would get on a plane and fly to this island and then do that, right? Either on the plane or this island or wherever else it is. Is anybody shocked by this? It doesn't come as a great shock to anybody.
I don't think so, but I think you also, if you go below 18 or even 17, that's when it becomes really problematic. And some of the women that have come forward, I was 14 when I got recruited. I was 15, and if
I know. Then you get into pedophiles, and then you're breaking laws and stuff like that. So, she's 16 or 18, whatever it is. I'm just saying, just generally, countries have gone to war over men trying to, get it on with women. It's just this is not that. It's not shocking to anyone. And if the names come up, you're like, that guy did it, or this guy, or that guy. And again, Epstein was sort of like a pimp, unfortunately, for the women, whether they were participating actively or I get money out of the thing. Like, where the one girl would go over to his place there in Florida, and then he would get a massage and a little something extra. And then he'd say, hey, listen, if you have any other friends that want to be involved in this sort of stuff. And I think he'd pay him $200. Well, then the one girl would recruit another girl. I'll just go over and $200, and who cares? Whatever. It's $200. So he would take advantage of that sort of stuff. So that's kind of the whole story. And now we're going to get the names. But is it going to be a shock that this stuff goes on? I don't quite get the fascination with it.
It's
not going to destroy anybody's career.
I don't think it's going to be a shock, but I do think as a political weapon, if you're using it against a sitting president, that's a pretty.
On that, if they had it, and somebody had it, they would have whacked this thing over Trump's head a long time ago.
You would think so, but his behavior regarding this, with it doesn't exist, or it's a hoax, or we're going to unleash the files. That's why he's got a target over his head with it, because of flip flopping on his stance on what this is, if it's anything.
Right, because maybe somebody now we're going to go, here we go, everybody. Then all of a sudden so somebody in the CIA says to him, listen, don't release it because it's going to open a whole Pandora's box of our relationship, fill in the blank. I don't know, Israel, Germany, whatever. And we've got, spies, or we've got this or that, or we've got this plan or that plan. And it's going to mess up things. We're trying to get into Venezuela and overthrow that government. And it was just best if you just kind of kept it all quiet and don't want anybody to know about it, because we're working on these other things. If the CIA is involved with Epstein, they're like, just let it see if you can just let it go away. So, will they ever release it all? It's the same thing with the Kennedy files, right? JFK's files. Oh, we're going to give you this, but not going to give you that. Just let it out there. People have such a low regard for all of these people. It's not going to come a great shock. Where you're going to fall from 17% favorability, all the way down to 11%? Well, then most people are like, yeah, screw it. These bunch of horny old men. If you didn't have, you got to blame Viagra and Cialis on all this.
That's right. Some guy trying to make glue.
What?
Didn't Viagra? Wasn't it somebody trying to make glue, and it was an
glue?
Maybe not glue. No, it was.
I think you're thinking silly putty.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is that's your state before you get Viagra.
Right.
Okay. All of that junk. Let's do the headline. Experts debunk the viral headline claiming increase in we already did that. The fact that there's no problem. There's not an earthquake. There's not going to be a volcanic eruption at Mount Rainier. And the other thing is, if you plan on climbing Mount Rainier, so it's probably too late in the season now. Apparently, you don't have to walk that far anymore because it's not as high as it used to be because we have not had as much snow. So it used to be at a certain point, I forget how many feet up, and now it's lost, I don't know how many feet. So because of the snow, which leads to the second story or third story is that Seattle's weather blog predicts a snowy winter. And then Joe decided to find out from Cliff Mass and some other people as well. And what we find out that, Cliff Mass, in the deep baritone voice of his, said, no, that's not true. I don't know where they're getting that from.
Yeah, the Seattle Weather blog said that if you like snowy winters, you're in luck because warm Novembers are a sign of a very snowy winter. And this is the Seattle's fifth warmest November on record. According to Cliff Mass, when I emailed him to confirm, he said, nope, no reason to expect this to be true.
That's not going to be the case.
These are amateurs.
It's mostly amateurs. No, I don't know. El Nino or La Nino. I don't know where they're getting this information from.
Not bad.
Yeah, Cliff just on all that sort of stuff with climate change and other things like that. So no, there's no science to back up any of that. It's funny, whenever I interview him, I always find my voice has to drop even lower than Cliff Mass. By the end of the thing, we're both down there. Only dogs can hear us. Yeah, good. All right, so that's all the local news and all the rest. The fact that Katie Wilson is putting her team, her powerhouse transition team together. I think it's a lot of the people, when she was asked it during the debate, there are rumors that it's going to be this person and this person and this person, all names that people have heard before. Is that who's going to be on your team? And she said, at this point, I can't comment on any of that, but I can tell you we are working towards having a great transition team that's going to put everything in place and solve all the big problems that everybody expects to have solved when it comes to government. Because just like Mondani, I don't know if she hasn't said this, but she might back it up. When I asked her if she agrees with being, and if she's okay with being, the West Coast Mondani, she seemed to have no problem with it. And of course, Mondani, the new mayor of New York, has said that, there's no problem too small that the government can't solve. And there's no problem the government cares so much. The government's going to care so much, and the government's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger to solve just about every single problem. So we'll see Katie Wilson. Are we following her on her Instagram? Is she putting more stuff out there all the time?
Nothing too shocking yet. She did make a post, I think it was 2 days ago, where she said, I've decided to accept a job, so I no longer have to accept money from my parents to help with childcare, which apparently people were very offended by that for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Okay, was it meant to be just a straight fact? Was it meant to put out a small fire?
Clearly tongue-in-cheek based on everybody giving her so much grief for being, quote-unquote, a Nepo baby.
She lives in a 600-square-foot apartment with her 2-year-old and her husband. I haven't seen that her husband has a job right now, but now her income goes from whatever she's being paid to about $239,000 to get the number. That's her income for the mayor. She'll pay about $73,000. She's got a deductible in there, so maybe she's going to pay $68,000 in taxes. So she could experience what it's like to have to pay taxes. They always say you're a liberal until either you're mugged or you make money, or both, and then you become more conservative. I don't think that'll be her case. It'll be interesting to see if she moves out of that apartment because the mayor has a security force that sits in a car outside of his house. I don't know if he was still having that 24 hours a day. Is the security team for Katie Wilson going to be sitting outside some 600-square-foot apartment, or is she going to be moving on up to the east side?
I think she's going to be
deluxe
moving
apartment in the sky.
She's going to be moving.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, come on. Wouldn't you?
See if it'll change her as well. Like now you're making $239K. You going to stop? You can keep shopping at Goodwill?
Probably not.
No, she's never bought into all that material thing. So
doesn't have a car.
No. So we will see if what the next big move is for Katie Wilson as she takes the reins of the city of Seattle, which continues to raise more and more taxes all the time because they can't get enough tax dollars, so they're trying to find more tax dollars. Let's go to Nate and checking traffic for us. Nathan.
Thanks, John. Wilcox Family Farm Eggs has our update. It's a busy commute. Seattle to Everett, hour 20 minutes. It's heavy from downtown Seattle now through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, pretty much the same, hour 15 minutes. It's solid from Bellevue all the way into Alderwood. Linwood to Seattle still hanging on at 40 minutes. You're bumper to bumper from Northgate to I-90, which isn't anything new for this time of day. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, 25 minutes on 520. A little longer, half hour on I-90. Bellevue to Renton's going to take you 35 minutes. You're in second gear, though, from 520 all the way down to 112th and Newcastle. From there, it starts to thin out, but you're still crowded all the way down to the Renton Landing. Out toward Lake Sammamish, eastbound 90 at Southeast Newport Way. A collision that was in the center lane has been moved to the right shoulder, but it's caused a backup that starts still back at 150th, about a 2.5-mile solid backup here. And in Puyallup, westbound 512 near Canyon Road, an earlier car fire that's obviously been put out by now is still sitting there blocking the right lane, and you're backed up bumper to bumper on the southbound 167. That eastbound 512 backup, however, has cleared out. Fresh food comes from local farms. Check the package for healthier eggs with 3 times the omega-3s. Choose Wilcox Omega-3 eggs. Locally fresh since 1909. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nathan. Let's see if you're a guy, you're over the age of 50. You probably don't have a primary care physician. Or if you do, you probably can't name that person because most guys, they hit a certain age, like, this just comes when you get old. You get aches and pains, you sort of lose a little step and you kind of just get a little foggy in the brain. But that's just what happens when you get old. What if it doesn't have to be that way? What if you were with doctors that have been around for 25 years using the latest science in order to be proactive to extend your life? So think of all the stuff that's bothering you as you're getting older. What if you could sort of write them all down and then tick them all off and then have them go away or slow down to give you longer life, more enjoyable life? That's what happens with Longevity Medical Clinic. I have been a patient since 2009. And I can tell you right now, my doctor holds me accountable every time we get that blood draw and she gets that test and she looks at all the indicators. She's like, don't like this number. Bring this number up. Bring this number down. Let's give you a good, long life. Let's keep away from the big 3, heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Why don't you be proactive right now and take the free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
You know what I really like about freeways? They don't have traffic signals. Or do they? Coming to Bothell Woodinville, this is all part of the expansion of the express toll lanes through the Bothell area. Where that's happening and how it's going to mess up your drive, tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's choke points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. Humpback whales and Biggs orcas were the story out on the water the past week. Among the humpbacks being seen is an individual known as Griffin, who was spotted a few days ago. Griffin rarely comes into our waters, so it was a special treat to see him. Speaking of special treats, we're getting close to the holidays, and the team at Puget Sound Express want to remind you that whale watching during the holidays is a special holiday tradition that brings families together and is a unique Pacific Northwest experience. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers guaranteed whale-watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Warm boats, homemade blueberry buckle. Don't miss out on your chance to see orcas and humpbacks in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com. Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo, and just moments ago, President Trump announced he has signed that bill demanding the Justice Department release all files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. CBS's Nancy Cordes reports the DOJ now has 30 days to produce unclassified records.
That includes flight logs, witness interviews, and any immunity deals, all of which could shed light on who had sex with or got massages from the hundreds of underage girls allegedly trafficked by Epstein and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Attorney General Pam Bondi today promised maximum transparency. The man accused of murdering 2 teenage brothers in Lacey faced a judge today. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi has more.
After days of search warrants, video analysis, and interviews, police tracked down a 20-year-old man in Wenatchee, where he was taken into custody with help from local police. He faces potential murder and drive-by shooting charges and is jailed without bail. Police say on November 14th, he killed 16-year-old Alexander Borgen and 17-year-old Devin Borgen. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
AI chipmaker Nvidia posted its latest earnings report today. Investors like what they see, as we hear from CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
Nvidia earnings was said to be the most important day of the year for Wall Street, and investors are really happy about this. You look at the third quarter, they beat on revenue, they beat on profit.
Nvidia posted $57 billion in third quarter revenue. That is a 62% increase from the same period last year. Markets are moving up in after-hours trading. Washington U.S. Senator is questioning whether college sports should keep their tax-exempt status. Senator Maria Cantwell is calling on Congress to analyze the Big Ten's proposed $2.4 billion deal with a private investor. It would spin off media rights into a separate business. Cantwell saying that move could blur the line between education and profits. At 5:33 now, we turn it over to Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
It is busy out there. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both at an hour and 15 minutes. Heavy from downtown Seattle through Linwood on I-5. You're bumper to bumper from 520 all the way into Shoreline. And then on 405, it is bumper to bumper from Bellevue to about 522 heading into Bothell. And then from there, it's still solid, but begins to slowly thin out into Alderwood. Linwood to Seattle, 40 minutes. You're bumper to bumper from Northgate to I-90. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're at a half hour now on both 520 and I-90. North 5 solid from or approaching the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. This is almost connecting into our backup north of the city. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. Again, it is really slow from 520 to 112th and Newcastle. And then from there, you slowly thin out as you make your way into Renton. Over in Lake Sammamish, eastbound 90 at Southeast Newport Way, a collision's on your right shoulder. It's still causing a little bit of a backup starting near 150th, but it is thinning out. And in Puyallup, westbound 512 near Canyon Road, an earlier car fire continues to block that right lane. We're backed up bumper to bumper on the southbound 167, and that backup continues all the way into Algona. That eastbound 512, though, backup has cleared out. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing clouds, a few showers at the coast into tonight. Spotty light rain early tomorrow. Drying out in the afternoon. Right now, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hey, YouTubers out there. Silence, walled off from each other. It's not good. It's like when prisoners are in there, they tap, tap, tap on the wall, right? Remember John McCain, Senator McCain talked about like in Vietnam, they developed like a Morse code thing so they could communicate with one another. They're going to have to somehow communicate because it has come down on high that they're at the point we have this point right now. No longer will people be able to communicate with each other on YouTube while watching the shows.
Did you hear that from somebody else just now?
Did you hear that from somebody else just now?
No, we were told that they were gonna reinstate it.
Oh, okay. Aaron, do you have any breaking news on that?
I got nothing.
Thank you. There we go. Don't forget Wilcox Friendly Farm Eggs, and they're time to spin the gigantic wheel, the wheel that symbolizes Wilcox Friendly Farm Eggs. All the names of all the players on the wheel. It's lighting up. It's a kaleidoscope of colors: red, green, yellow, blue, and red, and lands on Brady. How unfortunate for you.
Oh. Not unfortunate.
No, because I know you had an egg recipe ready to go right now.
Oh, yeah, totally. You get 2 scrambled eggs.
Two eggs. So you get them scrambled already? You got to get them by them at the store under scrambled? Or you have to scramble them yourself?
You got to do the work yourself.
All right,
you got to scramble them yourself a little bit. You got to put some effort into this one.
Okay, yep.
Get some chopped or diced ham, up to you, depending on what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Get me some sprinkled cheese on top.
Okay.
A little bit of grilled onions mixed up in there.
Ooh. There.
Yes.
Yeah, Nate's excited.
Grilled onions, I thought.
Grilled onions,
right?
Yeah, grilled onions.
Yeah, grilled, not green, grilled.
Uh-huh. And then?
Then you eat it.
There we go. There we go. Wow, just like that. All right, well, we won't go through how you have to machinate it all, but then you digest it, and then the juices take over. You get all the proteins, break everything
and
else.
And then nature calls.
Yes, it does. And speaking of nature calling, thank you very much, Tini, for spinning the wheel. That is one of the Wilcox Flavor Max Race. Okay, so yesterday I happened to mention that
I'll be home for Christmas.
That's right.
You can plan on me.
Yes, you can.
Please.
You know the origin of the song?
No.
World War II. The men were going off to war. And if you listen to the song, I think it might be in a minor key. And it's kind of a sad song.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve
will find you. Yeah, so he's off fighting wars.
He's fantasizing about it.
Will he come back again? Well, you can make it a little bit more exciting if I get a chance to come to your Christmas, because I realized what happened is that Nick and I put the barn up on VRBO or Airbnb, whatever it was, and some family, I don't know who it is, I think like 12 of them are coming in, they're taking the barn, and then Nick goes, well, I'm not going to be here, I'm going to be in Park City. I said, well, what about me? She goes, well, I don't know, you're not going to Park City. I thought you were going to go to Philadelphia to see your brother, and I looked it up on Alaska Airlines. Holy moly, that's a lot of money to fly there. So my brother said, Dad, don't bother. They're just taking advantage of you because it's the holiday. I said, okay, all right, well, now where do I go? And then Rye's like, where are we going to go? I don't have no plans. So they want to go to Lake Sammamish or Lake Chelan and sit in Rye's tiny little apartment. How depressing would that be? So I just sort of thought, yeah, yesterday, why don't I just, put it out there in a desperate move to just go to somebody's house.
You're going to abandon Rye.
Yes, just leave Rye behind. Like,
Fragile. It must be Italian.
Well, I think that says fragile, honey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from the Christmas Story. All right, so did a lot of people jump in and want to host us?
Yes, we've got many, many invites, and I'm sure they'll continue to come in. But
Okay.
here's a couple of them. Jeff in Olympia says, Curly, you're more than welcome to come hang out with us in Olympia. A South Carolina country boy and a Los Angeles transplant with a fully stocked bar, a gun safe full of bang sticks, and a fire pit story times.
Ooh.
The HOA might not care for our shenanigans, but we don't like them anyway.
Oh, I like that.
All right.
I like that.
It's a bit of a drive.
Country boy, and that's all right. That's all right. We're willing to go somewhere for Christmas.
That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Fox Island G says you're not welcome for Christmas, but we are doing a progressive dinner party between 5 of the neighbors' houses in a few weeks after. You're welcome to come to that.
Wait, Fox Island G is not inviting me?
No, but you're invited to the post-Christmas neighborhood party.
Okay. All right.
Brian on Capitol Hill says John can come over to our Friendsgiving on Capitol Hill if he doesn't mind hanging out with a bunch of gay guys. I'm a sous-viding turkey parts. Sous-viding?
I don't
Sounds like a cooking thing.
That for Christmas or for Thanksgiving?
Well, he said Friendsgiving, but I'm assuming it comes around Christmas.
Okay.
So,
all right. That's a gay party?
Gay party on Capitol Hill.
Good food.
Brian's great, by the way.
Great decorations.
He's fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Rudy and Karen in Wedgwood. We'll take you. We can talk hips. I'm getting a full replacement in January. Bring booze so we can drink yours.
Okay.
Here's one that's close to you. Patrick in Chelan. John can come stay here in Chelan. He can sleep in the guest shed if he wants with the rescue pit bull that he will hopefully adopt.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Old man John says, John, I've got the coolest tent ever. I live in Portland. Beer and turkey on outdoor barbecue is the best. Got an extra bedroom in the tent, too. Lights are already up.
In a tent?
So says old man John.
I don't know about that one. Boy, it's getting sadder.
Dutch Rudder in the 253 says Curly can come over and we'll go bar hopping out in Spanaway. Turn him into a real good redneck and eat some crockpot food.
Well, it really brings home the true spirit of Christmas, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Spanaway bar hopping.
That's right. Elliot in Seattle says John can come stay at my house. I won't be there.
Okay. What town's that in?
Elliot in Seattle.
Okay. All right.
Let's see. Hee-haw Aaron says,
yeah.
John, regarding your invitation to Christmas, don't worry, I'll have plenty of booze. That is if you're a fan of Kirkland Hard Seltzer. Even though the screaming kids can be a little much sometimes, we have a ton of great fun, outdoor wooded space. We can build a fire, a log cabin, or both.
Again, the traditional building of the log cabin.
That's right. P.S. Don't bring in slacks. Bring suspenders, flannel shirts if you don't mind getting dirty.
What is it with everybody starting every single one of these invitations with booze?
You did mention that you had a lot of it.
I know, but everybody there is like, oh, there's booze going on. I mean, there are a lot of booze. Booze hounding it.
Get back on the wagon. It is the holidays.
Okay.
Martin and Oak Harbor, John would be welcome at our house on Whidbey Island for Christmas. We have a ton of fun, small family, no drama, lots of laughs. My wife is a wonderful cook.
Okay, so these are getting better. What else? Got one more?
Let's see. Yeah, I got one more here. Robin Kirkland.
Robin
I would
Kirkland.
love to host Michael, Rye, and Teeny for Christmas. I'm a great cook. I work for a winery. We have lots of good wine, and we're a lot of fun, just the four of us. It would be a reunion of sorts. Somewhere in the world is a photo of John Michael, Lacey, Charlie, me, my ex-wife, daughter Reagan, and a few dentists and kids from 22 years ago at the Palm Court in the old Four Seasons.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Any jump out at you yet?
You know what I think we should do? Because it's too hard to just pick one.
Right.
I think you just randomly we just pull one out of a hat.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because why you can't pick one? Oh, we're not Spanaway, Kirkland.
That's
then
fair.
you come off as like some hoity-toity guy or something like that.
And you're willing to travel, so
Just throw them in a hat, just pull one out, and then there you go.
How about the 12 days of Christmas, and you can go to 12 of them?
Okay, Nate, how about you just traffic in there, Mr. Idea Guy? Here we go.
Seattle to Everett, an hour 15. It's heavy from downtown Seattle through Linwood, and it's bumper to bumper from 520 into Shoreline. Bellevue to Everett, also an hour 15. We're bumper to bumper from South Bellevue now, up to about 522 in Bothell. And from there, it's going to thin out a little bit, but it's still packed all the way into Alderwood. Linwood to Seattle, still hovering at 40 minutes. Bumper to bumper from Northgate to I-90. North 5 is solid approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown, and we're this close to connecting to that backup north of downtown. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes, still crowded from Interurban Avenue to 516. Bellevue to Renton, also 35 minutes. It's solid from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. And in Puyallup, we just cleared that burned up car westbound 512 near Canyon Road. We're looking at stop and go volumes now stretching back onto the Valley Freeway. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate, and good idea with the 12 days of Christmas. You want to be nice and warm in the winter, and you're going to be nice and cool in the summer. That's about comfort. That's about home comfort. Now, you probably don't think about cooling, heating, electrical, plumbing when it comes to Black Friday, but you should, because you're going to give yourself the gift of comfort. Because Home Comfort Alliance is having a Black Friday comfort sale. Now, through December 1st, get exclusive savings, 25 to 75% off when it comes to heating, backup generators, EV chargers, water heaters. Give yourself a water heater for Christmas, electric upgrades, and more. You can eliminate all the hot and cold areas in the house with a mini split. That's a great idea. Plus, sleep better in the summer with air conditioning. And the nice thing is, you can right now make sure that you are going to replace the system that you have in the house. If it's 12 years or older, pretty good chance that things are going to start conking out. So you can save up to 75% off before it fails. When Home Comfort Alliance comes in, it does a great job for you with 18 months financing, AOC. So remember, this Friday, you're going to give yourself the gift of comfort with Home Comfort Alliance. Schedule your consultation before 5 p.m. on December 1st. Save up to 75% off heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. It's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Ready to order?
Yes.
We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83 or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83 or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
83 or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
83 or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perongo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow and binge all episodes of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, available now wherever you listen.
Guys, it's time to know your numbers and what they mean. And right now, Revive Men's Health is offering a $400 comprehensive wellness panel for just $99. Free if you start treatment. Offer ends November 30th. Book today at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
The John Curley Show Mailbag is brought to you by Pendergast Law.
All right, Pendergast Law. Is Hudson going to sing the song, or what do you want to do on this one?
Sure.
Short version or long version?
Give full version. Let's go.
Wow, Hudson, hit it, baby.
I'm a mailman. Are you crazy?
Yes.
I'm a mailman to be messed with me. I'm a mailman. Everything no. I'm a mailman. Bring the mail to you.
All right, thank you, Hudson. We'll get the letter today. First, take care of all the rest. Joe.
Megan Kent says, hello, John Curley Show. This is Meg, an avid listener. The reason why I like your show is because it's informative, but you also put a positive spin on so many things and make it so fun that I laugh often. We need more laughter.
Thank you. Thank you, Meg, for that. Happy International Men's Day, fellas, says Shane in the 253.
All right, right back at you. Big Al in 360 says, please tell Nate to stop saying VMAC because it sounds like Big Mac and it's making me hungry.
Okay, so stop that, Nate. Happy International Men's Day. Is that the International Men's Magazine or the International Men's, like that catalog that would sell underwear for men?
I don't know. I'm not a
Man, I'm revealing way too much. Mark in Port Orchard says, is Captain Poo Poo Pipe here today? Thanks for listening, Mark.
Steve Allen says, breaking up windows was robbing daylight, hence the term daylight robbery.
How
about that?
Oh, something there. B in Puyallup says, by the way, they get mad at Spike when he uses accents. Really? Who's they?
I guess Jake and Laura.
Okay, well, Spike's not here.
Moondog Ace says, California sober. Back in the day, people smoked weed to get off drugs.
Weird. Big Hal 360, heat wave, like a lid on a pot, huh? Wow. People are bringing back the oldies. Just hit us over the head with them.
Sean from Tacoma says, why not spin the wheel to decide whose Christmas to join?
Ooh, that'd be good.
That's as random as it gets, and nobody will get offended.
When we talked with Ryan and Mark about Marxism, Andrew at 509 says, damn, did this dude just pull the Otto von Bismarck quote off the top of his head? Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was. Ann in Renton says, John, I love that you bring this subject to light. I value our family. Do not want the state involved at all. Thank you for bringing this to the light.
Yeah, it's fun to be able to talk to all those different people. That's nice. Patty Hearst, the Tumwater Bully, says, Patty Hearst, I remember it well. Years later, she was in on Johnny Depp movie, Crybaby, and she was his mother, and Iggy Pop was a father. It was a classic.
I just saw that movie. Had no idea.
Patty Hearst is in that?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, thank you for that, Tumwater Bully.
Goodfellas says, so many money-hungry people were coached to exploit the Jackson family fund. Staff that spent time with Michael and in the record entertainment business was all praised for Michael's behavior on and off the spotlight. That's true. Hold your skepticism, Joe. Also, hold a lot of skepticism about the Patty Hearst case.
Oh, okay. There. Hold all that. All right. Letter of the day.
Now it is time for the letter of the day.
Thank you, Teeny.
It's Brian on Capitol Hill checking in again. He said, I don't think I was listening closely enough yesterday, and I thought it was about Thanksgiving, but not to worry. Gay Christmas is still an open gay invite.
Nick's like, so you're going to make the Thanksgiving dinner? I said, yeah. Well, where are we going to get a turkey? I was like, what do you mean, where are we going to get a turkey? She goes, well, where do you get turkeys? I was like, the turkey store. Nick, you never seen a turkey before, like at Safeway? She's like, where do you get them? Like, how do you cook them? Like, what do you do? I'm like, oh my God.
Like
needless to say, she's not exactly a whiz around the kitchen. She got other great qualities. All right. Boy, we're still open on the Christmas invitations. They keep pouring in. That's great. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All righty. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Seattle to Everett, hour 15. Bellevue to Everett, hour 15. I-5, you're heavy from downtown all the way through Linwood, and you're bumper to bumper from 520 into Shoreline. Let's see, 405, solid from Bellevue to Alderwood, and you're barely moving through Bellevue right now. The off-ramp to 520, there's a collision blocking the right lane. Got a new collision in Linwood, northbound 525 at 148th. That one just reported, so it's unsure which lane is blocked, but you're backed up all the way to I-5. Linwood to Seattle, 45 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, 35. Bellevue to Renton, 35. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I got to thank Dr. Mark Wagner. This guy's been in the business for a long, long time. More than 30 years. He's performed more than 20,000 stem cell procedures. Now it's going to be 20,001. Because I went to see him 6 weeks ago, and after he looked at my MRI and my x-rays, he said, yeah, this can help your hip. He saved me from surgery and then also gave me back something. He gave me back my ability to be able to start to run again, because I saw him today, and Dr. Mark Wagner goes, yeah, you're making great progress. Let's slowly ease into it. Let's jog a little bit. Don't go out there and start running. I have not run in 7 years. I have a pair of brand new sneakers that have been sitting there with no miles on them. I get the joy of running back because I go to see Dr. Mark Wagner and I get a stem cell procedure like so many other people have, so many success stories. So if you're facing surgery because you got a bad elbow or knee or wrist or shoulder or hip like mine, before you go under the knife, go see Dr. Mark Wagner at drmarkwagnermd.com.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Thanks, Brandy. Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home. Better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster, at a higher price, and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com, sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio.